Wrap it up, nerd. Alright, I don't know what this is called, and I don't care. 2, 3, 4.
Yes. We are here. We are here to chill out in a very small resolution on the screen, and it is all so hot. But we're back after a week's absence. It's been a long week. Have you missed us? Have you really?
Too hot for Twitch.
Literally too hot for Twitch. We're back. We thought we'd come back for some. Well, I think Autos went like you just said. Like, want to do a chill stream? Like, yes, I do. Like, absolutely.
That was yesterday. Today I wanted to keep napping, but I had to set an alarm for this. So
you basic male image. How dare you try and get out of here?
Hey, there's a classic. Bring that one back.
Alright, it's good to have you back, man. I've missed you quite a bit.
It is, and this is the guy.
I think on one of these we actually did the worst. We tried to recount the worst of the worst Trek episodes. We should do that again sometime.
Oh, we really should. We were talking.
But we have to come prepared. That deserves the kind of respect that comes with preparation ahead of time.
Yeah, no, because we always do like a rewatch of an interesting episode, or it was like, no, let's talk to me about the fucking garbage shit, and not the fun stuff. Not Sub Rosa. Can't be Threshold. It has to be like
Justice.
Meridian. No, no. Justice is hilarious. I can rip on that all day. But fucking Meridian.
Oh.
Like, let's talk about Meridian for half an hour.
Let's not. I don't think there is even half an hour's worth of content in Meridian to talk about. Dax goes to a vanishing planet and falls in love. Then it vanishes away.
With the most boring man known to what universe.
Absolutely. What's with the hat, Auto?
I'm American now, baby. Yeah.
Is this sports? What sport is this?
I'm gonna go trucking. That's what I'm gonna do.
Is this a team? Is this the Gettysburg Goats?
This is American football.
Ah. Do they play that with?
I was like looking to see. It's like, is that meant to be an O? So it's OG. Oh God.
I'm just keeping the sun out of my eye.
You're much too white for that,
That's
my friend.
why they do that. Is to keep the sun out of their eyes. How practical. I'm going to start doing that tomorrow. Do you realise, guys, this is... Go on. No,
So
I see the
actually-
finger. I see the finger. I respect the finger, please.
The finger of wisdom. I called my cousin, caught up for the first time in 5 years. I told him this is the finger of wisdom. When it starts wagging, you better listen up. No, I went walking 4 weeks ago, maybe. And I had a bad sunburn because it was like the first time I went to the beach when I got back. So my neck, my back was all burnt up. So I went walking, and the sun was behind me. So to protect her from the sun, I did one of these numbers, with the bill covering my neck for practical reasons. And then I come around the corner and the sun's in my eyes. So I'm doing this with the fucking hat on, with the bill behind. I'm like, I swear I'm not stupid. This is for a reason.
And then a skateboard came along and you had to start doing kickflips.
How do you do, fellow Trekkies?
Yeah. Do you realise this is like...
I bet you skateboarding is fucking sick in Star Trek. Like fucking hoverboards.
Yeah, but can you do a trick on a hoverboard? It feels too easy. You probably just press a button and it flips itself.
If anything, it requires more, because then you don't have the ground clearance. It's like that thing's gonna keep on going regardless of what you do.
Yeah, true, I suppose. I mean,
you just have to do it above lava, then it's real high stakes.
Oh, there you go.
That's how Klingons do it.
Okay, so let's say you're cruising along, you fly off the ledge, Argo style. Now, is there when you jump on the hoverboard, do you set a threshold distance for it automatically to do, or does it go over the edge and then slowly descend to ground level?
You want
or
to have
does it just stay
only
to sort of determine where ground level is, and you say I'd like to have a minimum of 30 centimeters above, maybe something like that.
Well, I'm pretty sure in Back to the Future was a case of it was
Thank you for following. Thank you for following.
Man, subscribe on a chill stream now. That's dedication. Because in Back to the Future, it's you can overpower it if you try and make it do too much in terms of the height. But in Star Trek, they have pretty good anti-grav, so I imagine you could probably just sail off the edge and just keep on going.
Almost plot-breakingly
that was
good.
Well,
Unless you're
that's why they
a Klingon on
don't
the
do
cargo
anti-grav
bay.
shit all the time. Yeah.
How cool would it be to like go over a waterfall on a hoverboard and just have it like float down into the? That would be.
But that's
really
what
sick.
all the tourists do. Like, you go to Niagara Falls in the 24th century, they're all there just going down. It's like a queue to go down. You got to
It
stick
makes
to the
Ryza look like New Jersey.
Yeah.
Now I want to see a reanimation of like that shot from The Simpsons where Homer like goes over the canyon and he just goes like right all the way down, but you just reanimate it so it's a really idyllic Ryza like waterfall and it's a hoverboard and it's wearing a Starfleet uniform.
Tom has subscribes. What
You
a trooper.
were subscribed.
What a
What
trooper.
the hell?
Where's Big? Where
What a
is
fake
Big?
fan. I think Big said he couldn't be here today,
He
right?
could not be here, unfortunately, so we don't have the full chill stream experience. But
I'm having flashbacks to Frank counting how many Windows sounds your computer makes before it stops.
it does. That's so annoying. I need to fix that. It's like a WebSocket error every time my lights change. But it's fun. It's part of the charm. Part of the charm. When was
You
the last
mentioned
time?
Frank, and it's like I really want him to start paying someone to sneak down into like Idol's basement, and then they just write on the whiteboard "Buy Dilithium."
Yeah. Hey, I'm surprised I've not even put it on there. I might have a rejig around here at some point. Do you?
Sorry, I keep on interrupting you.
I was going to say, when was the last time it was just the three of us chatting, like it was in the old?
Just the three of us.
Yeah,
It's been months. It's been at least a good few
while,
months.
which is why I was really excited for tonight when you said, Auto's coming up, Stars are coming up. I was like, yes, we can do this. Like, this makes me very happy.
This
to be
is
here chatting with
classic lean TOS like timelines talks.
those old
I
streams.
wish there was a way you knew you were still in the good old days before you left them. You remember that quote?
Yeah. Hey, we haven't, no,
you're
we
not
have not
wrong.
left them. We have not left the good.
We
old
haven't
days.
done
We're
like
still there.
bits and voiceovers and everything for a long
I
time.
know.
But
Been busy. We'll get there. We'll do some more stuff. We'll get those intakes going again. That was a lot of fun. No,
here comes a finger of wisdom. We gotta record some more of those. Because Nifty and Genos got together recently.
They did, didn't they?
I'm like, oh, you guys should have recorded something stupid for the stream.
Absolutely should have.
Implying that we were ever record anything smart for this show.
Implied recording at all.
Wait, we're not streaming? Oh shit.
But no, I have absolutely missed you both terribly in the last week. So I've recently come back from my holiday, hence why there's been no stream for the last week or so. And I've been to a lovely little resort that was far too hot. It was in the country. It was in Wales, so it wasn't far away. Everything was too hot.
You said that wrong, Idol. It's meant to be in the country.
In the country. No, it was in the north. I can't do a Welsh accent. I can't do any accent apart from my own, but there we are. Nothing stops me before. Need to record
You
something
can only
fun.
do Southern. You can
Yeah.
only do Southern.
Southern American? No. Auto blink twice if you're in distress.
I'm still in the post-nap fugue, so I have no clue what's going on right now.
Snap you out of that.
All right.
So
Let's
yeah,
hear about your holiday.
I was there on holiday, lovely place, nice sort of like, it was on a golf course, it was just really sunny the whole time, went out, nice area, but in the evenings we didn't have much to do because we sent the boys to bed and the wife went to sleep early, so it's just like, they had a DVD library on site, and because I had no signal I couldn't stream anything, so I had limited to what their DVD library was, and they had some good stuff there, they had stuff I've watched like hundreds and hundreds of times before. But they also had two Star Trek choices. So I thought, well, I'm going to watch myself a choice between Star Trek Into Darkness or Star Trek Nemesis. Can you guess? The guys that know on the Discord didn't know which one I picked, but I decided to watch Star Trek Nemesis for the first time in probably about 6-7 years.
That's a poison chalice if I've ever heard.
It's a really bad choice. I was just like, really? Is this it? No, not even Wrath of Khan? Like, I would have watched that.
I would actually pick the motion picture over either of those.
Wow. And it also makes
At
me
least
feel
that'll
bad,
send me to sleep.
Yeah, but how bad a DVD... Like playing a DVD on an old-school DVD player. I haven't done it for years. I got the classic, you wouldn't steal a car. You wouldn't steal a policeman's hat.
You wouldn't download an Enterprise.
You wouldn't
Hell yeah,
steal
I would.
isolinear chips and reprogram them to make the Enterprise not function properly. Shame
Damn it,
on you, Mike
Mike
Shimoda.
So with the wonders of future technology, how much porn do you think you could store on a single isolinear chip?
Well, they always talk about in gigaquads, right? Like
Yeah.
gigaquads of data.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think at
because they
that
don't
point,
want to nail it down to a specific memory size.
what is the stuff they put the holodeck programs on? The stuff they stored Moriarty in? Because that seems to be a big chunky thing, doesn't it? I think that's the
yeah.
future of that,
Isolinear
really, isn't it?
cube.
It's not. You're not watching videos anymore. You're living it. Just take a
Yeah,
real
you got
blue
holiday
turn,
programs.
Yeah, Nemesis is
I'm
crap.
kind of curious.
There's one
Nemesis
saving,
is fine.
there's one
It's
saving grace is
not.
the ship battle is awesome. Like the point when he goes, phasers at Z Vector and they're searching and they're trying to go through the nebula and then the Valdor swoops in and they're trying to do a combined shot trying to find this cloaked scimitar. That's pure porn. That is.
Is that like the unconditionally most along the Federation and Romulans get at that point? Because like there's no strings attached. It's like Denatra just shows up. She's in a good mood relatively, and then they like work together.
No.
DS9, I guess.
DS9 season 3 with the search, because you've got the Romulan officer on the Defiant manning the cloaking device, Martha.
Yeah,
Harrigan.
but she's like real suspicious of him the whole time, right?
Yeah, I suppose it's like in terms of just turning up and saying, let's have a drink. Oh, who was the Romulan Senator Kretek? Her and Bashir got on.
Yeah, but she got put in prison, didn't she,
true,
because of Section 31 bullshit.
Yeah, but they got along. That's the point.
Yeah.
I think
she
that
also
was a
put weapons
Telshar.
on Bajor, so.
That's true.
Yeah. No, it is probably like Denatra, and like if you can act honorably enough and impress the Federation enough that Worf is like you fought with honor to a Romulan. Yeah, that's pretty up there. That's like one of the few moments I actually do enjoy at Nemesis.
I love the way Klingons, especially, they got it right. Where you say "Romulans," it's like the way your parents sometimes say a word that you're like, oh, you guys can't say that anymore. Like times have changed. Don't say that out loud. That's the way the Klingons say Romulan.
I can see my favorite pronunciation. Oh, thank you. My favorite pronunciation of it is I think in Generations, because they're looking around the observatory. And they find that like corpse of a Romulan, and for some reason he's had his eyes like gashed out or whatever, and it's really weird. They never bring it up again. It's like, really weird. And then like Worf just like stands up, looks around, Romulans, and it's just like no one says it quite like Michael Dorn. Like I can't think of anyone who says it quite as he just gets that bass in his voice.
Like, this
Norm's
isn't a racial
talking about
slur, but the way
Romulans and
you
its
say
honor.
it totally is. But Worf has very little to do in that film. Very little to do. He has one joke, and he's like gunner officer on the back of the Argo, and the rest of the film he doesn't really do anything apart from Troy guides his hand in the telepathic photon torpedo launching.
Poor Worf finally got the Crusher treatment from literally all the movies.
Yeah, Crusher got
okay.
fucking nothing. Crusher got fucking nothing in all those movies.
True. Yeah.
Like, she got the most to do in First Contact, but even then, like, it's still very minimal. Even Troy got more to do.
Even Ogawa got the tactician trait for that evacuation, and Crusher does not.
Trait audit. Yeah, like, Nemesis, I just... Every time I think about it, I get annoyed. There's always something new to get annoyed about in Nemesis for me.
Yeah, the thing that annoyed me the most when I was watching it, and they had the whole shins on this Picard reveal, like, if you were watching this and you weren't a Star Trek fan, because you're going to assume yourself you're a Star Trek fan if you're watching this. If you're watching it, be like, right, that's Tom Hardy, or that's X actor, and then they start making all these references, and Picard, everyone seems shocked, and you're just like, it's another bald man. And until later on, they show that picture with Cadet Picard and went, oh, right, okay. It's just like they plot that very badly to say, like, he's young Picard, where they could have had a flashback scene with Tom Hardy as Picard in his youth
actually thinking like that.
Something.
It wouldn't be an awful idea to have the movie start off with or be close to like an opening thing where you have Tom Hardy playing actual baby Picard.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Maybe even like do a thematic lean through so that he's like about to attend a wedding. Maybe he's about to, you know what? Fucking cast a young Jack and Beverly Crusher, have them attend their wedding, and then you lead straight into Riker and Troy's wedding.
Oh my god!
And make him a bit more Shinzon-y. Give him that impulsiveness, because as it is in the movie, you don't really buy that Shinzon has any of Picard's noble traits. Like, Picard appeals to them a lot, but there's like one conversation where he's kind of not a mass murderer, and then he goes right back to sexually assaulting Troy, and it's like, I don't really believe that that's a part of Picard that was completely unnecessary. It's like, is that the number one reason I hate Nemesis?
It wasn't weird at all. It was completely par for the course for Star Trek, unfortunately. But I agree, that's
by TOS
that's the one part of the movie I could leave. But the rest of it is like, it's all right.
And the infinite hallway that Riker chucks the Viceroy down as well. I was just like, oh, there it is. Like,
They really should have just like paid for like an exposed part of the hull. You just kick him out there, the force field fails, and he just flies out in space.
yeah.
Right. Have you guys run a
it.
single poll since I've been gone?
Do you know what? I've not. You're the.
I don't know how to do it.
I think I might have done one.
Job security, baby.
That's what I pay you for.
It's literally like when I'm at work. I'm not at work, and someone has to message me to work out how to do something on the test PC, and I'm like, "Well, you can't do shit without me." So yeah, no, you're the poll man.
Twitch with Jay says podcast listeners in shambles.
That's true. That's the one time they get the shout out. So Genos, Dangovan, whoever else, we love you guys. DC
Fried
Pilots
burgers. Hell yes. Hell
yes. Thank you. Go vote yes.
Absolutely.
I can't believe it was behind.
There's not a lot I wouldn't have on a burger.
I asked because I had that yesterday. And it was
did you? Okay. What else was with the burger?
Bacon, lettuce, mayo, onion.
I generally had one of the shittest meals I've ever had in my life on holiday, though. It was the last meal we had before going away. I ordered a chicken burger, and it was literally...
Was it a Little Chef?
No, it was at the golf course resort, like the golf course's own restaurant, which you would have thought, like, okay, I'm paying like 12 quid for this burger. It was literally 2 frozen chicken burgers with some grated cheese on top in a bun. It was awful. It was not very good. Little Chef, God, yeah, there's a name I've not heard in time. No, they don't still exist, Walt. There's no more Little Chefs in the world, which is a kind of a weird shame because they were so... You always went in them kind of going, well, maybe they got better, and they never did. They did good breakfast, though.
Look, they had to get all of their refuse out of the McDonald's like garbage and like brush it off and clean it, so, you know... It was only ever as good as the McDonald's nearby.
I had a mushroom soup there once, and I swear to God, I just watched the guy open a tin of mushroom soup in front of me, pour it in the bowl, and put it in the microwave. But I'm just like,
did he maintain eye contact with you the whole time?
No, he didn't, and then he realised that Isla was watching. He just spat in it.
Cream of mushroom sauce, soup even.
That's where the cream comes from.
Yes, well, most of the ones on the A1 are adult shops. As someone that's driven up the A1, I have spotted those before. It's like, who goes to an adult shop in the middle of a motorway, in the middle of nowhere?
You don't want to know the answer to that question.
Well, true. I mean, not that I've been in an adult shop for personal reasons, but yeah. Support local businesses.
It's a chill stream. You can admit that you're wearing a butt plug right now. No one will judge you for that, buddy.
No, we got stream tag for that.
Jesus Christ! People accuse me of having like the pink humor, but no.
Ooh, pink.
It's chill stream. We can say whatever we want. We can pretend we're grown-ups for an hour out of the week.
For an hour.
No, I just came to talk to my buddies.
I'm still trying to think. Is there anything else about Nemesis I like?
See, I tried to get him off Michael Dorn, but it wasn't happening. So,
but Picard's speech at the start, the whole wedding section is great.
The wedding scene's great. The wedding scene is legitimately great. But that's because that's the TNG cast as being the TNG cast. You can't really fuck that up. Is there anything else?
Hold on. Apparently, you can vote multiple times on this.
Can you?
If you use hair flips.
Oh, yes, you can. What? Yes.
Oh shit! Wow. Use all my hair flips.
Fucking what the hell? So much for democratic integrity. What the hell?
Twitch has gone full. Aww.
No, got through. Who's the
Trekkie
monster?
for Life contributed 500, so 5 votes from Trekkie for Life.
Oh.
All right, for Puffcoast listeners, fried eggs on burgers, we're about 50-50. And I think one or two of us may have skewed it one way or the other.
Did he really?
Actually,
I
didn't know you could do that either.
I demand a recount.
Oh well. Yeah.
Nemesis does have a decent soundtrack, I suppose.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Good soundtrack.
Right.
I mean, it has got Tom Hardy in it in his worst role ever, but
I mean, it nearly killed him. He nearly committed suicide over that role, so I don't count that as a plus. Really, I feel bad for the poor guy.
They did inspire him.
Remans. Actually, I love the Remans. The Remans are very cool. And they make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking way the Romulans fight their own fights. Not on the ground, anyway.
Valdor. The Valdor is a very cool ship design.
Valdor's an actual... I actually like the Valdor more than the Dederidex, like the classic TNG, like Warboard. I always thought that the negative space was a good idea, but it was always like a bit weird. But the Valdor is a very cool evolution of that design. Denatra is cool. that's probably the most Romulans we ever got in one of the movies, I guess. And it was
Apart from
I suppose without Nemesis,
yeah.
like a lot of the stuff in Picard and wouldn't really land as much, I suppose. But
so Training for Life says, "Don't hate me. Eggs only belong on an Egg McMuffin, which is an egg on a burger."
Got him.
no,
Although
specifically,
calling that a burger is pretty generous. Like
it's meat in a circular shape. That's pretty much it's compressed.
it's in a meat packet.
Yeah,
it's in the meat packet.
ugly bags of mostly meat.
Yeah.
there it is.
Oh, you know what? Admiral Janeway is fun. I do appreciate Admiral Janeway.
How'd you like?
She
to go
earned
to
that
the neutral
promotion.
zone? With or without the rest of the fleet.
Man,
That's true.
she really does have a very unique voice, doesn't she?
She really does.
It's like she's smoking from the womb, basically. It's got a little bit of the little nasally, little gravelly.
Wow.
That's a phrase I'll take to my grave.
That's what it sounds like, does it not?
I mean, you're not wrong. She does have a little bit of that Patty Selma vibe, but like, man, I feel bad. I feel really bad for Janeway now, and now I have to go and say something nice about her on a message board.
Oh, come on. Everybody loves Janeway.
Everybody does love Janeway.
I feel like people have come around on her, actually. I feel like that is a thing that's starting to happen.
Would you like to know the other film that I watched? And it wasn't Into Darkness. I actually picked up, because I thought, I've not watched this for a while. It's hot in the Marvel comic world at the moment. Maybe I'll give Ghost Rider a chance. Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider. Have you seen it?
Nicolas Cage as Beverly Crusher.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I need to leave. I need to be out of here.
Ghost Rider is I couldn't finish it. It was fucking awful.
Wow, really? DNF? Wow.
It's really bad. Like, it starts with not even like young Nicolas Cage, like not even young Nicolas Cage, and some really bad like carny romance plot that he then does something with the devil and becomes the Ghost Rider involuntary. But Nick Cage, for some reason, is then like, instead of like swilling like whiskey out of a glass, he's got candy in like a tall like wine glass, and is sipping like candy and sweets out of it, and just being this extravagant like person that just jumps through hoops on his
So what you're
motorcycle.
saying is that Nicolas Cage turned up on set and they were filming him, and then he realized he was in a movie.
Pretty much. You get that vibe. They're like, we're done your hair. And then he turns into the Ghost Rider, and all of a sudden, I am the spirit of vengeance, in some really bad CG. And then I kind of got to the point where he sort of starts to talk about what it was, and I was like, I can't be fucked. This is not worth my time. I'm going to bed. So I chose 2 really good movies to watch on holiday.
I've actually never seen a Nick Cage movie.
Wow,
so
there are some good ones.
Face Off?
Good. Face Off is great.
none of them. I've
Face
only
Off
seen
is
Nick Cage
good.
memes online. That's
Oh my
about it.
god.
Wow, that's weird.
Is it? No, not even Las Vegas. What's Con Air? Con Air.
God, that's guys
Nope.
like Wicker Man? Wicker Man?
I've literally never seen him act.
Wow.
Wow,
He's
weird. Oh, hang on. I have to show auto.
Boy, chat's lighting up. Chats are big Cage heads, I guess.
yeah, raising hands. Yeah, that's good. The Rock. You've not seen The Rock.
No.
What?
That's
The Rock
baffling.
is a classic. Oh
Dude,
my
I literally
God.
watched Star Trek on repeat, like during skirmishes and
Oh, I
stuff.
need to change this. I'm just looking through his filmography for some of the good ones. Yeah, The Rock, Con Air.
I
Face
just put
Off.
something
That
in the
was
show cat that
96, 97 was like peak NicolasAge. Gone in 60
All right,
seconds.
if Sean Connor's in The Rock, then I'll
yeah.
probably watch that one.
Yeah, would have thought you.
people have a theory that he's kind of sort of playing his version of James Bond.
Yeah.
Like as if he got, because like the backstory for his character in The Rock lines up perfectly with him being 60s James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shai even says it's a James Bond movie, so you
Snake-
probably would quite enjoy it.
Snake Eyes is good. I like Snake Eyes. And then
I've seen
it
Snake
gets
Eyes.
worse after that. Ghost Rider, yeah, that's bad. National Treasure, I think I've seen that. Oh, he's good in
I think the
Kick-Ass.
first one's pretty good.
Kick-Ass is good.
Oh, you know what? He is good in Kick-Ass. Yeah.
Oh, he plays
feel like it plays
Spider-Man
for
Noir in the the animated Spider-Man.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
He's
Spider-Verse.
very good
Yeah,
at
he's
that.
great as that. His Uncle Benjamin. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. He's got the perfect deadpan for it.
Wow.
So I say I've not seen a Nick Cage movie, and you guys start reminiscing about all the great Nick Cage movies. I'm okay, yeah, that's fun.
Wow. Oh yeah, he was nearly. I just saw that he was nearly Superman, wasn't he? There was a whole thing about that. With...
Yeah, I just put a picture in the show chat for these guys. If you guys have not seen the attempted
I'll bring it
Superman
up.
movie, because he is a ridiculous comic fan. He is ridiculously into comic books, and he also owns his own pyramid that I believe he wants to be buried in. And there is a picture of his 90s costume, which
it's bad.
oh boy, it's bad.
I mean, I don't know if he was
good.
planning to cut his hair, was he, or was that the whole thing?
90s Superman did have a mullet, so I think maybe it was the intent.
Gosh. Oh no. Oh dear.
For podcast listeners, there was a poll. All right, so I just met my sister's fiance for the first time, and we have a lot in common. We get along well, but he has not seen a single James Bond movie.
Wow.
So I feel like there's an
That's
entire
an
world to
achievement.
explore with him.
That's even weirder than not ever having seen a Nicolas Cage film. That's actually legitimately bad.
think he might
Like, never
like
seen like a
a James Bond
Goldfinger
film.
or Goldeneye or Casino Royale.
No,
Like,
I mean, I would have
that's
expected
weird.
maybe one of the newer ones, but
Yeah, that's so weird.
Wow.
we did watch Top Gun Maverick together in theaters, though. That
I
is a
still
good
need to.
movie. I've been telling you guys that's a good movie.
You've been rhapsodizing about it for a while. I respect your opinion. I'm gonna have to go and try and get around to watching that at some point.
The original is pretty good. I actually even like the new one better. So it's a good movie. I mean, it is very like, macho and America, and at the end he gets like the girl, the car, and the plane and everything. So it's a little bit,
I have never
And there's a
seen
little bit
the
of
Top Gun films.
homoeroticism in it for people like me.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
I'm
man.
not seeing any of them. So it was very sort of like, I think in the UK it was like very like America, and I was like, hell, I'll skip on that.
No, it's worth it. It's
Okay,
worth it.
well, maybe I'll add them. Oh, no spoilers for Love and Thunder, please, because I've not watched that yet. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to see that. Thank you.
There is love and there is thunder, from
There
what
is
I
Love and
understand.
there is Thunder.
It actually has a beach football scene for stars. They're all topless. They all have 8-packs, 12-packs, and it's just ridiculous. You could grate cheese on them fuckers.
Nice. This is the imperial. It's important. It's a metric on the scale. Like, you know how Idle, we were doing our uniform chat for 3 hours. If we were grading movies, there is a hidden score on the scale that is how homoerotic is this movie.
Oh, I see. I didn't see we got that. Yeah, we need to readjust that one.
Yeah.
I can't believe we went on for 3 hours about uniforms. Or at least just some, the basic ones. We'll get real tired at the end. Then we're just like, yeah, it's okay, fine. It's a 7. It's fine.
Well, especially a lot of those later ones, it's like these are all variations on the exact same fucking theme.
Variations.
They
of
just
the-
love to redesign things.
What's your favourite uniform,
It's like-
Auto?
I don't know, man. I'd have
on
to
the
think
spot.
about it. I don't. When it comes to like aesthetic stuff, ships and uniforms and stuff, I don't think too much about it. Like if I like it, I like it, and if I don't, then I'll laugh at it. But I don't know. You guys vamp, and I'll see if I can come up with a uniform.
I think you guys were down on them, Idle, but and shy a little bit. But like, I love the First Contact uniforms, especially because I rewatched First Contact not recently ago. And man, they still pop just so nicely in First Contact. They still just it's like about the colors that
They work in motion.
because I'm actually brand new, so.
They were exciting at the time because I remember watching them going, this is such a cool, like, it's a very... It was the time when sort of media was going very sort of towards the darker edge, things were starting to get a bit grimdark, and like having these kind of edgy sort of Star Trek uniforms that were a bit more militaristic was a bit exciting at the time, but looking back on them, I'm a bit like, they're a bit dull. In this time where I'm like, I want some colour! I want some excitement.
No, I think part of what you're experiencing there is the fact that they have been the standard Starfleet uniform for a certain period of time for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, to the fact that every other character who is a classic character turns up in that uniform in Lower Decks. Like, that's how ubiquitous it is. It's the standard. So I think that also plays into it, is that it doesn't seem exciting because you've seen it so often.
True, yeah. We like new, we like shiny. Maybe we'll look at these new shiny uniforms we've got now and kind of go, they're... We'll come back.
So the producers of Picard are listening to you right now, and they're like, so a new uniform for season 3?
No, not again.
Honestly, I kind of do like the classic TNG season 3 through 7.
Yeah. We will hold those.
I like stability. Like,
Yeah.
don't change every season. But yeah, I like the primary colors. Like, it's just kind of nice. I don't know how realistic
We rated
it
them
is,
quite
but-
high. I think we were quite good on them.
We were very positive about them because they're just so classic.
I like the relativity uniforms
Really?
from the Voyager
the
episode.
smoking jackets.
The Braxton
It's
uniform.
not bad. I like the sort of vertical style of them.
I do actually appreciate the rank insignia and how that's sort of like a little bit asymmetrical. I do appreciate that aspect to it. Yeah.
We love an asymmetrical uniform here.
Yeah, I just feel like again, like you say, I like bright department colors. I like contrast. So everyone wearing like the quilted jacket blue is like, no, I need other colors. I need someone wearing red. Otherwise, how am I meant to know who's going to get killed if they aren't wearing a red shirt?
Now it's just everyone. Everyone dies. But if you're wearing a red shirt, you're probably safe because they don't want to lean into that trope too hard, do they?
Yeah, no, I think what was it in Stranger Worlds that there was a certain episode. I'm not going to say anything for people who have not seen it. But I think the red shirts was like one red shirt dies, but it's not who you would expect, and a yellow and blue shirt die as well. So it's all spread out equally.
They're just killing everyone off on the show.
All of them die.
Everyone dies.
Let me. There's a spoiler I have to tell you about Pike.
What?
His hair gets bigger with every episode. That's the spoiler.
That's how he ends up in a wheelchair and just
Oh,
collapses under his own gravity. It wasn't the accident at all. He got trapped in the turbine and sucked him in.
You're awful. I can't believe you've done this.
Yes.
I can't believe you've done this.
All right,
Okay.
so you have to imagine that a serious professional like Mr. Mott uses old school like metal implements, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But I feel like they probably have like those touchless car wash barber stations where you just go there, like the little laser drones like buzz it for you, and then you're good to go, right?
Man, that's the dream.
That's
Well,
like
yeah,
the
because don't you
standard.
see him? Oh no, you see another barber is like doing someone's hair and changing it from like red to green or whatever in the background when Geordie goes to
okay.
when Data goes to see Geordie getting his like haircut in Data's Day, I think it is.
My
Yeah.
hair does not require trimming, you lunkhead.
Classic. Do you think Data has reversible hair pieces? Do you think if he wanted to, he could have a pomp?
I think all his hair is completely adjustable, isn't it? Because there was that comment in All Good Things where he says, I added a bit of white for dignity. I think he has a lot of control. He grows the beard, doesn't he? And I think he has a lot of control over his follicles.
A beard.
A fine, full, dignified beard.
So, when can
Well,
we
yeah,
get that card in timelines?
Yes.
I want bearded Data so much.
He pops up his hairpiece, so it's probably just like replaceable with a different, which seems
lost-
a little impractical. But
The lost
whatever.
episode.
Give
where
him a
he comes in with
mohawk. Oh no! Oh boy! I'm not here for this.
Mullet Data observing humanity would be a great episode.
mullet. Gets time travel to 1930s Southern America. Oh no, 1960s would probably be more appropriate. The peak of the mullet, or 80s maybe. I don't know what is time.
No, I feel like the mullet is like late 80s, early 90s. Specifically like pre 1993. I feel like it's kind of when the mullet died.
Which means it should be coming back any day now. I think it's like on a 30-year
What it kind
cycle.
of did with the whole Stranger Things thing, they kind of, when that kind of 80s renaissance came back, a few people tried out and everyone went, no, stop.
Don't quit making faces, stars. You are in the best position out of the three of us to take advantage of a mullet comeback. All right, because
Hey, also
Idle and I
shaved his
are
head as a doctor style for the doc episode. Can we get our mullet Data Stars episode?
I don't know if there's enough CFCs left in the world for me to get a proper 80s mullet.
Dude, I visited with my sister for the first time since I got back in the States. And she has one of those picture frames, like electronic picture frames that rotate between photos. One of the ones in the rotation was me sitting there with shaving off my head in the doc style. So
Oh, wow.
she's a true timeline stalks aficionado.
Nice. The hidden fans.
When do we get to see that picture?
You saw a whole stream of it. You don't need to see the picture. me sitting in the bathroom looking very disgruntled.
That's good. That was our finest moment.
You're not wrong.
Not
You're
wrong.
not necessarily wrong.
So what else you
boy.
guys been up to? How's America
believe you
also?
intentionally-
How is things over there? How is the move?
I don't like it. I want to go back to it. I briefly considered, for the first week, I'm like, do I want to just fly back and live in Germany instead? So But I guess I'm here for the long haul. I have missed family, so that's good to catch up.
Come to the UK. It's terrible, but we're here.
What an amazing sell.
Let's put that on a bumper sticker. Well, hold on. When are you guys? When is that? The London Meetup?
Oh yes,
or the
London
Trek
Meetup. Yes.
Con that never happened.
September 3rd?
No, it's October. We're doing. I can't check my calendar. October. So yes, so I'm going up on Friday the 13th. No, I'm not. I'm going up on October 1st. Staying over October 2nd. I know a few people going up on the 30th. But yes, we're having a little Timelines Talks meetup, which was originally going to be for Star Trek Destination London. Then they cancelled it after we'd booked our hotels and booked our tickets and everything. So we decided we're just going to have a little Timelines Talks meetup. I think it's me, there's Walt, Seven, Cranky. I think Stars, you're going to come and meet us for a bit as well. And we're just gonna...
Yeah, I'll pop in. Yeah.
We've got a little chat about it on our Discord if anyone UK way or otherwise wants to come out. So we've got a little channel for it on the Discord. So come and see what we're doing. I think we might look like we might do some pottery or some scavenger hunts.
No, I've seen what that pottery entails. You are not doing that. That's a bad material for that implement.
Yes, that's true.
Clay? No, not a good idea.
But no, we're definitely going to do that. So we're going to do some. We're going to have a meet up. We'll go do something, have a few pints, see a few museums, and have a chat and have a good time. Maybe we'll stream stuff and record some stuff. So it could be quite fun. Why not? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I need to work out how I'm going to get down there yet, but I've got my hotel booked. So
now that you've pierced the foil stars, are you willing to have a pint with your buddies when you meet up? No,
I'll buy you a cider.
No,
I'll buy you a Summersby cider.
Yeah, I might have a Summersby for
There we
old
go.
sake.
There it is.
I'll do that.
Okay, now I've said
I'll
Summersby.
allow
How
that
about a
for
couple of
the
whiskies on top
nostalgia.
of that? No, right.
What was that fucking? What was that? Was it an apple whiskey that you had me try? Oh, it was fucking horrendous.
that was good. That was Crown Royal. It's like a green apple whiskey. Yeah, it's something. Actually, that's like
It's like
the gateway
drinking
drug.
liquid polymer.
That's the gateway drug I've found to get women interested in whiskey because they usually like the sweeter stuff. So
Sweet enough for you, darling. Dear
I'm sweet enough.
me.
I had stars in the palm of my hand. I could have handed him any drink and he would have had it.
So I've picked up a few beers from Wales. This one is a
How
magic.
dare you? I can't believe you were right.
Magic Dragon Brew. This is This is from Wales. It's a New Zealand IPA, but it was brewed in Wales. I don't know how that works, but no, I've got one of these. But I went round to Louisa's uncle, who's my wife's uncle's, who lives in Wales. So we popped around there, and he's got like the best board game room ever. He's got like huge shelves. He's like completely decked out, but he's got one of these things called like it's like a Philips Perfect Draft pump thing, and I want one. So I've asked my dad for
A what?
one. It's basically have a draft in your own home. Just have a draft beer in your own house. You put a
One
little keg in the
book,
back.
me and draft pumps with idle danger powers.
Yes. So I'm very much.
Yes, this sort of thing really is my bag, baby.
Alex
I'll be
Idle
releasing the book next
Sharky.
week. This really thing it really is my bag, baby, by Austin Powers.
You know what? I next time we do one of those segments where we do a lot of fake crew, but like how we did the Simpsons ones, we have to do Austin Powers. Austin Powers has so much potential for fake ones. That's so good.
Oh my gosh.
You know, we should probably prep a few of those ahead of time and throw in these chats or these streams instead.
You can
The
have
bonkers ones, yeah. I'd be
Austin in
right
silver.
with that. Very ouch, baby.
Yeah. Skinless, Mr. Oh, what's the cat's name?
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Bigglesworth.
Hairless
yes.
Mr. Bigglesworth, not skinless, obviously.
Yes.
That does not want to work.
Boneless.
No, that's a very...
Yeah. And
That's
What?
awful. I hate you.
What's that line? Shag very well by reputation.
Oh, Felicity Shagwell. Shagwell by name. Shag very well by reputation. Man, fucking Ian Fleming, when he heard that in his grave, he was just rolling. He was like, can't believe they got there before me. Fuck. Like that's better than Xenia on the top.
oh,
That's better than Pussy Galore. That's better than Plenty O'Toole. fucking Felicity Shagwell. It's perfect.
Yeah, I'm still ready for another Austin Powers. I think they could do justice to one more.
I think you could do it. I think. Would you have to do a parody of like the Daniel Craig ones now?
Oh, I think it'd have to start in black and white, wouldn't it? It would have to be like the start of
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
With Austin. That'd be quite good.
Oh, I'd be down for that. Yeah, I think this guy's got potential.
I mean, you could have a Burt Bacharach card. That's the only time you could ever do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Burt Bacharach.
Right.
What's that?
Bacharach is a musician, so careful with the jokes. Right, he's an American legend. All right?
Oh no, I like Burt Bacharach. I think he's fine. Like,
Thank you.
I'm not throwing shade at all.
We need Bacharach triggers.
Actually, I'm gonna find some Bacharach clips, and we're gonna add triggers for him.
I want to do some weird stuff.
No, you know what we need to do? We need to just get like Austin just saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Bacharach," and then it just cuts and say, "Anytime you want to transition to Idol saying something."
Just start
You're
the
the
show.
resident Burt Bacharach.
We'll put that in the Timeless Talks intro. You know, instead of one of my dumb phrases that I thought up on the spot, we'll have people throwing the show to us.
Yeah, that'd be quite fun. I need to have a little look at remaking that. We'll have a look at that. A lot of things I need to do. Time be willing, but I'm in a good mood on this side of the holiday. I think I was getting a little bit down before. I was like, I've got time for everything. But I think I want to sort of sit down with you guys and talk about what we're going to do moving forward. But yeah, I think I'm feeling more up on timelines lately. I know we'll probably talk about that more on Wednesday, but I'm definitely in a more positive spin for it than I was.
Well, I think Otto's going to be here fighting the good fight for the little guy because,
You're too right.
Man.
As he should.
yeah, you should
Yeah,
do.
it's-
Yeah, you're
it's-
right. I'd be really curious to know what the new player intake is like for a game like Timelines. I'd be really curious to know.
So how
yeah,
how much actual golfing did you do while you were there?
Oh, none. We were just staying on a golf course. I can't play golf. My dad tried to get
Okay.
me
So
into it when I
weird.
was about 12, and of course, me being a skinny little 12-year-old, I could hit the ball about 30 yards and then go, how many more shots to the hole? What's the par?
I mean, golf. I don't know what I think. I think golf might be the sport I hate the most.
It's okay. It's just dumb.
No,
It's an
no,
excuse to
come
go
on,
out
man.
and walk around in some stupid clothes.
Did you know the golf courses are excluded from hosepipe bans?
Are they really? Bastards.
So you can have like a drought or whatever, and they can have as much water
How do I
as they
classify
want.
my house as a golf course? Do I just have to dig a hole in
Because
the
it's
ground?
a rich person sport. That's why.
Yeah. No,
Fucking-
it's not my favourite thing, but the resort was on a golf course, and that was the kind of...
What happened to a good old contact sport like boxing, where you just beat the shit out of each other, give yourself the brain damage?
Wait,
now
what about
that's good for you.
golf boxing? How about that? You could hit the shot into your opponent's face. No? Okay.
I think that's just called dodgeball.
That's true. Sorry. But with sticks...
Actually, I do have to shout out for Big, who apparently is a big disc golfer. So I've not played myself, but
Oh, no. That
What?
seems interesting. Disc golf, you know, when you
What's
throw
disc golf?
it into the...
that's actually like it's gaining steam here. Basically, instead of a hole in the ground, you have like a pole
Frisbee.
with a little basket around it. So you throw the frisbee and you get it to land in the little basket. And so disc golf courses, I guess, are huge. I think not quite as big as a regular golf course, but
No, but...
you can throw that sucker pretty far, and they have like specially made frisbees for it and stuff.
You know there's some, like, bros out there that's like, yo, you got the latest, like silicon line disc golf. Disc. What do you call that? Just a disc?
Yeah.
Yeah. But is that the same way you call a golf ball just a golf?
I'm starting to think that sport was a mistake.
Hey, now, calm down. Now, Big's a big disc golfer, so let's not ruin this
Okay,
for him.
that's true,
He's going to
alright.
watch this and be like, "Oh, my life was a
motherfuckers."
mistake. I should stop playing this. I don't enjoy it anymore."
No, we just have our words
Look,
in his head.
Big is the deadliest and manliest of all of us. He has nothing to prove.
As long as they don't, water their golf courses in a drought, that's fine. That's all we care about.
Yeah, it was in the news too. No, I agree with Chad. For environmental reasons, golf can go die in a hole, but
You know what? This just means that there should be a resurgence in crazy golf. Crazy little mini golf
yes.
where you're batting through windmills and stuff like that. That's way more interesting.
Raising the finger, what would you put on a Star Trek crazy golf course?
Okay, Okay, you've got to have at least one of the holes that is designed after like the game, like the little sexual log. So, and you have to get it just in the little little thingy.
Yeah.
You have to have one based around a black hole, and then you have to hit it in just right. You've got to have a briar patch, which is just like playing in the rough. What else you got to have?
There's a shuttlecraft with the rear door open, and you get it in there, and then the
Yeah.
shuttle takes off, and it lands there and dumps the ball out.
What about
Nice.
one where you
I
can't
know
actually
that.
see the target unless you get a golf ball with heat-seeking properties in it, and you have to find the hidden Klingon golf ball? I don't know how that
Quantum
would work.
golf balls.
Oh yeah. Oh, what about just putting it into the
this feel-
shuttle bay? Just have the
This feels like a
Enterprise
lower decks bit. This feels like a lower decks bit.
It probably would be. Speaking of, in a minute, I'm going to show you that Lower Decks game because they finally released it in the UK. I'll show you that in a
I'm
bit.
getting a lot of joy about us three discussing sports ball topics. Hold on, I forgot my golfing hat.
Oh, so... Okay, what was the last sport you played? Because I can't remember. When was the last time you went out with a team of people and did a sport?
Does
Team of people.
for
Gosh.
team people catch or frisbee with auto, and I guess that was the closest thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been right
Kind of.
before I left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually can't
that
remember.
actually-
kind of
British.
counts.
I'm
I
pretty sure
provided
British-
the
Go on.
I provided the only baseball and baseball mitt I've ever seen in Germany. I was there for 7 years. I
Wow.
brought it with me. That whole time, I never saw a single other one. It was just me
Clearly, you're
throwing
gonna
it
move
around.
to Japan because Japan loves baseball.
Yeah,
Japan goes
yeah, they
nuts for baseball.
I think the last time I was involved in any team activity was at university about 10 years ago. No.
Was it squash?
12 years ago. No, it wasn't squash, no. No, we went out and just had a football and just want to have a kickabout. I'm like, yeah, let's have a kickabout. And there's about, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us, like, did 3 aside. And we kicked about, had fun in the sun and everything like that, and then went back and then went home, woke up the next day and everything ached. I could never move that many muscles in that. Like, bear in mind, university, I used to sit in front of my computer and play Team Fortress. That's all I was doing. Oh, we've got a poll title.
I see. Buddha says they watched company kickball. Does that count? No. Does fishing count? No. Cranky, sorry.
Oh, no. Right, so I pasted this on the Discord the other night. ESPN was showing competitive Excel, competitive spreadsheets. I was watching some
Yeah, I
of that.
saw that.
The commentators were getting really into it. I think it was good. I enjoyed that. I watched a bit of it. It made me chuckle as well. Some of their favourite formula as well. They had all the snapshots of all the headshots of the people competing. It's like, this is Andrew, and he's into index matching.
Wait, so how does that work? They give them like tasks, and
So they have a
to-
task. I think the one they did the other night was they had like a slot machine. They had to work out what the prizes would be for each of these slots, or when they had different tasks and they had to do it in a certain amount of time. It got pretty heated. There was some they had to do it within a certain amount of time. Like someone went straight off the bat, loads of points, got the formula out straight away, and someone you could see the people that were really lagging. They were getting like quite tense as they were switching to their cameras. It was a time, but it was being broadcast on like something people could watch on a television. It was weird.
Building Lego is not a sport. Well, I'm sorry. Otherwise, Spocky would be the world's #1 in that.
I don't know. I could
No,
see
it's not.
I
No.
could see like you've got to come
Idle.
up with this design in the
It's
amount
a
of time.
hobby.
You could speed run Lego building.
That's still a
Create
hobby.
miniatures is a sport.
well, come on. Well,
Fuck
okay.
off.
What about Rubik's Cube solving? People do that for a sport under a certain
It's
amount
not
of
a
time.
sport.
Why
not a
not?
sport.
Anything can be a sport.
It's really not a sport.
Skateboarding is an Olympic sport.
Yeah, but that's fine. That actually requires proper physical activity.
Does it have to be physical? What about esports?
Yes,
sport.
by
Hold on, that's-
definition. Yeah, esports also isn't sports, and I will fucking fight you on that.
But it's got
Esports is
sports
a
in the
cancer.
name.
It's a difference
Cancer.
between athletics and a competition. You can have like sport
Well,
as
there
a
you go, yeah.
competition.
Thank you.
Right, they're mowing right outside the window, so
That's fine.
I'll be
Connor.
back.
Oh,
Give
is
him a
this
piece
going
of
to
his
be where
mind.
you tell me that there's going to be competitive sports like fucking lawn mowing?
Oh, do you know one of the best? I'm just going to remove Nicolas Cage. Oh, no, I'm going to move Nicolas Cage. I can't remove him. He's got to stay here now.
You can't remove him. You can't.
God,
Don't you
he's stuck
dare.
there forever now. Physically can't.
Trekkie for Life, by that list. So Trekkie for Life says, when the sign-ups for Rubik's Cube competitions are full in under a minute, yes, it is a sport. by that definition, buying graphics cards when they come out is a sport.
Actually, kind of is. There's tactics.
No, it's
there's
not!
things you have to do. Feels like it is. Get sweaty.
Yeah.
Requires skill.
Overtired 2 has it. Overtired 2 has it. If esports was sports, it wouldn't have to start with an E. It would just be sports.
It's a sport. What about, okay, it's like saying the difference between Formula 1 and Formula E. Like, Formula 1 is racing. Is Formula E proper racing because it's electric cars? And a lot of that is done by, like, fans can...
No, that's literally no different. It's just a difference in class. That's like trying to say that, are you saying women's football isn't football because it's women's football? No, I'm not saying that at all. That's still a physical activity.
Is it like saying that DJs aren't real musicians?
Yes.
Ooh. I need some friends of mine that would argue with that. That's a skill.
Guess what? If your DJ wants to come up here, that's fine. They won't have any original material of their own. It'll all be remixed arguments.
Yeah, but neither do a lot of cover artists, and they're still musicians.
Guys, you're way too passionate for a chill stream right now. Let's just...
Okay, all right. Let's agree to disagree.
That sounds like the words of someone who lost. You have to agree
look,
to
a kick
disagree.
button. Here it is.
That's fine. I have to go and do other stuff anyway.
Oh, dear.
So, as a microcosm of America, the noise was apparently this man has a 2x8 foot patio, and instead of grabbing the broom and brushing it off, he grabbed a leaf blower, and he's clearing off his patio that way.
Wow.
So it's about 300 pounds too, so you should probably pick up that broom after all.
Oh,
Dear.
what were we talking about? Superman.
You guys are shouting about sports.
No, before
I'm
that.
sorry, Call of Duty is not a sport. If someone tries to tell me that Call of Duty is a sport, I will shit in their face. I'm just not about it.
Oh, hold on. No, let's
didn't know
back
what to
this.
say.
Athletics versus... You can have competitive sports that are not necessarily athletic, right?
Yeah, like archery. That's fine. That's still a physical activity.
Competitive eating. My boy Joey Jaws Chestnut with the world record for number of
That
hot
is a
dogs.
physical activity.
No.
It's a physical
No, come on.
activity. It is. It requires
It
training.
lowers your
requires-
lifespan as you do it.
Yeah, but so does rugby when you're getting hit in the face with like about 20, 40, however heavy people coming at you at full force. Like that lowers your physical activity and your mental ability as well. I would say competitive eating is as much of a sport as rugby. Okay, I'm not going to commit to that. Can't say that.
I don't even have to fight on this. Right? You're defeating your own head. Christ.
All right, let me show you this dumb lower decks game. So, well, my dad's texting
I don't
me.
even really count singers as musicians. Cairo, that's nuts.
What?
I don't agree with that at all. That's
What?
ridiculous. I don't
Singers
understand
are
that at all.
musicians. Come on, don't be daft. Right, let me get...
Like, no, I don't understand that at all. Oh, what the...
No, this
Oh.
one. Oh, God. No, there we go. Right, shut up. Shut up, me. No, still shut up, me. Why am I still talking? Oh, God.
Professionalism.
Literally, you should be muted.
Echo.
No, literally. No, I don't want the overlay. How do I stop you mute?
Yeah, singers are absolutely musicians. They absolutely are.
Absolutely are.
How are they not?
God. Sorry.
Like,
I'm about to
If you
mute
had-
Idol.
You know what? Can I...
Sorry, let me disconnect this and work out what's going on. Right.
Will that work?
Right, let me just try. Hang on. Let me look at some settings and work out how the fuck to mute this. Call volume there. Let's turn that down. Alarm volume. Oh no, alarm volume I need up. Let me try this again. Sorry, technical problems. Right. let's
Joey
sort that.
Chestnut fights off protester in Darth Vader mask while competing in hot dog eating contest.
Dude, I just saw that the other day. I'm telling you, Joey Jaws is a legend in the sport.
Right, let
Yeah,
me
I was
mute
going
you.
to say, like, Shy brings up a great point. Composers used to write songs specifically for certain singers because they knew they would execute the song perfectly. Fred Astaire, Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, of course they're musicians. Like, how are they not? There is a difference between composing... Like, if someone else sung Life on Mars, is it really the same song?
There we go.
You know, it's like, the voice is absolutely an instrument. Like, come on.
Well,
Especially when you
I
get to
mean, not
opera.
always.
Like,
Not always,
not
because
always.
I'm able to, perfectly replicate Diamonds Are Forever and sound just the same as the original artist. So
No.
Let's not give
Yeah.
him too much credit here.
Oh my
But
god.
what are we
wow.
even setting this up for, Idle?
I don't know. It's not working properly. Change audio output. Speaker. No, I don't want to do that. Deafen. Let's try that. Did that work? Talk. I think that might have worked.
I'm talking.
Haha, it worked. Good. Right. I'm sharing my screen. Here we go. Right. So
Charge your fucking phone!
Right, hang on. Right, this is going to work wonderfully. Right. So they released this dumb Lower Decks game. It's an idle game if you've ever played one. It is exactly what it says on the tin, but oh, there's audio. No, you shush.
Is Shatner singing counted as music or speech? Asked Cairo. It is counted as hilarious.
Oh god. Right, stream volume. There we go. Shush you. Right. So yeah, this is a mobile idle game. If you ever played anything like Capitalist Simulator or anything like that, you basically bring things up, but it's all sort of Lower Decks themed. The one thing that it is really good at is the storyline. The storylines are really good at like capturing that Lower Decks feel. I can't actually show you any because I've not got anything to complete. But it is basically
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah,
this is
I know.
amazing
I might be
stream.
able to do something.
Professionalism.
Oh, actually no, because I can upgrade a simulation. So let's try and do that. Hang on. Let me do this. This might do one. So yeah, shuttle bay level 5. Did that do it? Yeah. Here we go. Collect, and it is like the similar tracks. There we go. So you can sing along if you want. Rutherford, I heard them say the party has been secured. Oh no, there's more of them? Maybe they're planning to strip the ship for parts. They must have a team on board too. Boimler and Mariner are in danger. Okay, this is actually the worst one. You have to do something, Mariner.
Oh, I'm sold.
Yeah, go loud. But yeah, but there was. I posted some pictures up in the Discord of one of the events they were doing on this, and it had the Lower Decks crew in motion picture uniforms as they're talking to Riker about his trombone music and what he really did with Beta on Angel 1. The downside to this is, yeah, it's a crappy mobile game, and also they have events where you can win crew, like the Borg Queen or Phlox. They are complete pay-to-win bollocks. Like, you won't rank unless you're getting...
You're doing a great job of selling this to me, man.
No, I'm not trying to. I just want to show you this is the state of the Lower Decks game. Like, I am kind of enjoying picking it up and just kind of going, I'll upgrade this, I'll get this limited time crate, but it's... If anyone's looking at this going, I want this Lower Decks mobile game, yeah, it is that, exactly that. And there you go. That's all I wanted to show you.
Idle, your voice is like slowly cracking and dying, and I feel like it could be more appropriate for the material you're showing us.
Yeah, I would say the storyline's quite fun. They've captured the art and everything. That's quite cool. If you like Capitalist Simulator, it's fine, but yeah, you won't get away without paying for it. But I'm completely free to play on it, and yeah, it's struggling. But hey, there we go. That's all I wanted to show you. Right, how do I stop this now? Right, quit.
Can't believe you've done this.
Stop streaming. Stop sharing. There we go. Disconnect. Get out of here. There we go. Anyway, that's another crappy Star Trek mobile game for you that I was playing on holiday. Ooh. You can buy dilithium in that game. You can actually buy latinum in that one. That's the main. I promise I wasn't paid to show that off. No paid advertisements here. I just wanted to show it off because we all love Lower Decks.
To be fair, as far as mobile games go, the one that this show was built on is probably among the least scummy and
Yeah.
cheap.
Ever since they added
and,
retrieval.
Yeah. Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
How likely are you to recommend Timelines to one of your friends? 1
0 out of 10.
Not likely at all.
No, none of my friends are Star Trek fans, so they'll be like, what are you doing?
How do you not have any Star Trek friends?
I probably have
fans,
one. Well,
friends?
one of my friends is an occasional Star Trek watcher, but he's not like a fan, I would say. But yeah, no, I'm one of few, which is why when I found this wonderful community we have, and we all link and talk about Star Trek, it made me very happy.
Speaking of which, I got sent a very belated birthday present. It was about 4 months late, but you know, well, better late than never. So I just need to show it off. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh wow, that's cool.
SS Botany Bay. It's a bit it's reversed, but and I think it says interplanetary freight is what you've got there. So
Sublight sleeper ship.
Damn right. It's traveling in style, friends.
In your sleep. Botany
Oh no,
Bay.
the Botany Bay.
Thank you, Spooter.
He's also the same guy who got me the the con that you can see up there, and then the TOS con you can see up there,
Cool.
right next to my alien queen figure.
Nice. Speaking of, I'll probably talk more about this on the Star Trek show. You guys heard about Eagle Moss, right? The company's completely shut down out of the blue, out of nowhere. So guys have been, for those that don't know who Eagle Moss is, they make the very nice little Star Trek models you can buy for an extortionate amount of money. But they have now, out of the blue, just gone. No company announcement, no we're cancelling orders, no even agreeing, because there's this Enterprise D set you can get, which is you pay £2 a month, or probably more than that, probably like £5 every couple of weeks or a month, and you get a bit of the Enterprise to build. And after about £2,000 and about 20 years, you'll have a full Enterprise D. Well, that's now just stopped after people have I think they're halfway through the saucer section now, and you've kind of people sitting there with half a saucer section going
So what is it, bankruptcy or?
No one seems to know. One of the guys on Twitter, Ben Robinson, who I think pretty much owns a lot of the licenses or the rights from Star Trek end of it. He's now
he works on a lot of the licenses. Yeah.
He sort of came on Twitter and says, "I'm no longer working for them. I kind of hope there's a future." But there's CBS are basically turning around going, "Best of luck," and not actually intervening. But
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I've always had a decent enough experience with their models. They've been, for the price they're okay, especially if you don't want to build them yourself, which I generally don't. I'm not very good at building models. But I had a few occasional quality issues, especially the fucking Bajoran sailor ship, which you can't buy. You couldn't buy it after, I think 2 or 3 years after release. I have mine there.
Yeah, mine's boxed in a shelf up there. Let me have a look at Eagle Moss Bajoran.
Well, guess what? Don't take it out, because I had one that broke when it came out of the package. That was one of the 3 replacements I had to have.
It's been
I'm
unsealed.
sorry, but I find that hilarious that, of course the sail ship would be the most fragile model out of all of them.
You can't actually find one on eBay. Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
$5.99.
I think I have. Guess what? You'll need at least 10.
Yeah.
They're really hard to get up standing properly, because the first one I had, one of the wings snapped off, literally as I was putting it on the little rest. The second one broke as it was coming out of the box, and they were they didn't even argue with me about customer service, because I assumed they knew that it was a problem, and then you couldn't buy it after 2 or 3 months, because they were we're just losing too much money.
Yeah. The Bajoran sail ship sold on eBay for 99p once.
Wow.
Or £2 was another one. Yeah.
Cool. Grab a load of them. You'll need them.
I'm just going to keep mine in the box. So just reading chat. Over Eagle Moss seems like they overstretched themselves, put too much in stock, and they were doing stuff they just started a Stargate line. They'd done a lot of Doctor Who stuff. They were just trying to go out everywhere. But there was a lot of stuff.
They also did these. They did the Star Trek bus, and I got my Wharf on. I was really happy with it. So, they did really good stuff, but yeah, every time I went on the website, there was another 3 brands that they'd added of some kind of, do you want Battlestar Galactica 1979 models? And I'm I don't know who that market is for, but, whatever, I guess. It must be. Yeah, it feels very much kind of if you guys are familiar with the game developer Telltale, they also did a very similar thing where they just bought too many licenses, overcommitted to too many products, and then, had a few quality issues where certain games weren't as good as others, and then they just died. And it was real sad, but everyone could kind of see it coming.
But they had a lot of unreleased stuff. They had some of the Discovery Season 3 starships coming out, and the Lower Decks. I think the Parliament was in design as well. There was a lot of things coming up that they just it just got dropped. And I think the main issue is people that got these subscriptions with half-built starships. They kind of just want to go, am I going to get the rest of it? I think it's a DeLorean. You can build a DeLorean in one of their issues. I think that is not quite finished yet. And they do a lot of classic. They do Bond cars. You can build a Bond car like the classic Aston Martin, things like that.
So Cranky's in chat admitting that he's the reason why Eagle Moss went belly up. Thank you, Cranky, for ruining it for the rest of us.
I can't believe he's done this.
Yeah, I got a few of them. I got a few models sitting on my desk. I'm happy with them. I would like to have got some of maybe the new ones, but the prices were outrageous. I was looking at the Cerritos. It's like £50. and it's
Well, that was for the XL, right?
yeah, but I don't think they did a standard one. I think they only did the XL.
Okay, that was because I only ever bought the standard ones. I never bought the XL. I wanted the Discovery and the Disco Prize when they released that as the XL, but I couldn't get any because they were never in fucking stock.
No.
Now I'll never get one.
Hopefully someone will pick it up. That'd be interesting to see if someone do it. And
Okay.
maybe I think some of the quality of some of them could be a little better, but it just depends on the price of it.
Well, to be fair,
guys
Star Trek
are-
licensed products are coming back, so
You should just spend your money on fried egg burgers like I do, and you'll never be disappointed.
yeah.
I had a really nice burger yesterday, so I'm halfway there with you. Because between all that, because they did a load of comic books stuff, I actually own one of their comics. I think their busts, models, stuff like that. But we've also got new video games coming out as well. They're actual proper video games.
Yeah, not crappy mobile games.
Who would ever play one of those? Who would ever devote hours and hours and hours of their time to a mobile game? Who would do that? It's weird. Sorry about it. But yeah, because there's the Prodigy game coming out, and then there's that Resurgence game, which I hope is good, but I don't know. It looks a little bit rough around the edges.
When is that supposed to launch? Because I did see the trailer for that. And...
They haven't said there's no release date for it yet.
What's this Resurgence?
Resurgence and the Prodigy game. There's still unannounced dates on when they're coming out. I hope they do well, because man, I miss the 90s and early noughts where you just had a billion Star Trek games coming out, and some of them were garbage, but a lot of them were really fucking good.
I think CBS have just been really tight on the license. I think back in the Microprose days, they were a bit more liberal with what kind of games were coming out because Star Trek was hot shit back then. But now they're being and this has been seen with the Lower Deck stuff not coming to timelines and not coming to a lot of other places for ages. As a lot of international licensings, they're crap with. They really are. And from what we've seen with art delays and timelines, whoever Bfault it was, there was no thing. Speaking of comics, you just reminded me. I went to we had a little festival in my local town, and there was a little pop-up comic shop there, and I flicked through, and they had so many Star Trek comics. But I picked up a couple, and I picked up this one, which is I want to put these on my wall because that looks epic. I really like that. And they had the graphic novel of The Undiscovered Country. I was like, yes. I have to get it.
Pretty decent Shatner. That's not bad. I appreciate that
Nimoy's
Martia gets fucking higher billing than Chang. Look. Her head is the same size of prominence as Chang, the main fucking villain.
Let me open this one. This one I picked this one up from the cover art. Let me just carefully remove it from the plastic wallet. And literally you open this up, and the very first thing, hang on. Idle threat. I didn't even know. It's back to front, I apologise, but I was like, yes! It's fate.
Christ.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Paramount apparently completely revamped their licensing department earlier this year, Kyra says.
Really?
I hope that's true, because if that's... Guess what? Release Armada 3.
Yeah.
That'd get people excited. Why the fuck not?
Yeah. It depends how well their stuff did on GOG, because they released all the classic games like Armada and all the other ones.
Well, I know Auto bought 10 copies.
I feel like I'm the only person who completely hates 2, but really liked 1. I feel like a lot of people enjoyed 2 better, so...
Why do you hate 2?
I just don't like it. I don't know. It's more like... big scale like Stellaris type gameplay than it is real-time strategy, which I prefer.
Does it have a tech tree and stuff like that, like a full tech tree?
I haven't played it in so long, I don't remember, but
maybe
it's big enough that you can
see if you like it.
You can warp your ships across the map, instead of just moving them at normal speed. So
you should play it and stream it, and then we can have you playing a game that you need to revisit.
I probably should.
We should. That'll be fun.
Yeah, because I've come back to games years after the fact and been I didn't really enjoy it, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, this is pretty okay. Age can, especially time and being out of a certain headspace can do a lot to change your opinion on a game.
I made a new friend since moving here, and they are trying to talk me into horror games, which I cannot stomach.
Ooh, yeah.
No.
So, I have a free copy of Amnesia: The Dark Descent. They had it free on Steam or whatever. So I picked up. It's a quality game. I like watching other people play it, but sit in the dark, turn off the lights, put on headphones, and immerse yourself in the game. I don't know if that's for me. So.
No. You'll be getting on the Five Nights at Freddy's next, won't you? Getting on that train. And many, many sequels, but no.
Tricky for life, I'm gonna fucking fight you. Horror games do not suck. I love
Hold
Resident
on.
Evil.
I don't
Let's
think they
go
suck.
fight
They're
you.
just not for me. There's one we should try actually if we can. If we can all get PC. There's like what's it called? Phantasmagoria, or I think that's what it's called. It's basically you and a team of
familiar.
3 others, like cooperative game, and you have to go and investigate a haunted mansion with various different types of equipment. A lot of people stream it, and it looks a lot of fun. That could be something. I don't know what the crossbay is like it. Yeah,
All right,
that's
pull
really
up
good
in
for that.
chat.
I'd rather
Help
watch
us
someone
out with
play
this
horror
one,
games
guys.
than play them myself. I think that's definitely the way the streaming works. Like, I've watched a few people do that. Let me try and find it. It was a Phantasmagoria, I think it's called. Let me see if it's on Steam. It looks
Yeah,
like fun.
see, Trekkie for life. You gotta make draw the difference between they suck and I don't like them.
Yeah, there is
Come
difference.
on, man.
That's when something's really well done, but I don't care for it, I'll still like plug it to other people because someone's going to enjoy it.
Fantas.
Oh, Brody D literally says they have an old computer game called Phantasmagoria. Wow.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I absolutely adore especially survival horror games like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Dead Space. Really excited for the Callisto Protocol that's coming out later this year. Alone in the Dark is getting a remake. Alan Wake. Like, I love all of these kind of things. Like, I'm big into it. Until Dawn, the Dark Pictures anthology, just into my mouth. Give it to me. But apparently, I'm in the minority on that.
It wasn't Phantasmagoria, that's something else. I'm trying to find what the hell this co-op game was called.
Do I want to spend 20,000 hair flips to override the entire vote and destroy democracy?
I bumped it up because it tells you if someone spent at the end, so, I'm hoping to see that little notification. That...
I have my Facebook.
Do I only get one vote, or do I just completely
Yes.
tilt the axis?
No, you only get one extra vote for 20,000.
Why is it so expensive? It was like 100 hair flips for one earlier.
God damn, what was that-
Because I
what was
bumped
this
it
game
up.
called?
Asshole.
Look, it's better than no option.
This is gonna bug me. Why is this game called? I was watching people stream it. Ah.
Oh, so speaking of Resident Evil, I watched the new movie recently. And I'm just...
Red alarm!
Jamalin!
Red alarm! Red alarm!
Complete boss battle extraordinaire. Thank you for following.
Red alarm.
Alarm.
Been 20 years? You must fight Auto for hair flip dominance. Well, I mean, we all know who wins that fight.
I don't
Yeah.
know, give it also time, you can grow it out.
Yeah, no, I could totally respect people not being into horror games because it's really not for everyone. It really is not an experience that everyone benefits from. And if you're not into it, by all means, but it's like, you got to at least appreciate the craft behind it. Like, even if you hate horror movies, for example, you got to admit that the thing has some of the best practical effects ever made. Like, that kind of thing. It's like, if you're not big into classical music, you don't say that, freaking Pashbel's canon sucks.
Phasmophobia. It's called Phasmophobia. Sorry. Phasmophobia.
Overtired literally got to it as you said it. I can't believe that.
Thank you.
You know what, Overtired? If you maybe were getting a bit better sleep, you maybe would have gotten to it earlier before.
Yeah.
That's true. I like the original Psycho. And even
Ah, yeah.
Psycho 2, which I think they did like 20 years later, is okay. 3 blows big time, but the original is, I mean, it's Hitchcock, so of course it's going to be
Yeah,
worth your time. But
Can you think of any film that's gone from an amazing... What's the worst offender for a film that's an amazing film and then a worse sequel? Like, outrageously worse, like completely fallen off the cliff, and you're not allowed to say The Son of Mask.
I'm pretty sure Star Trek has a couple ups and downs in them.
Yeah, but I mean from like first film to second film. You can't say like, it's the scene, it's like up and down.
The biggest increase might be Star Trek from motion picture to Wrath of God.
No, come on, Idle, you can't fight that.
I really can, but that's a tough film.
You know what?
Highlander?
I'm gonna say it. Aliens to Alien 3.
Yeah, maybe. No,
Alien
3
3
was
is
okay.
No, here's the thing.
I've watched
Alien 3
Alien
is
3 a
not
few
okay.
times.
It has some good things to it, but in terms of impact on the cultural landscape, Aliens 3 might be the most nothing. Aliens 3 has had made no impact on popular culture at all.
I mean,
Like, can you name a
that's-
single thing that came from Alien 3?
If that's the measure, then it's like Shrek to Shrek 2 in terms of cultural impact, right?
Shrek 2 is a cultural masterpiece.
Shrek 2 is actually better
Yeah.
than Shrek.
Yeah,
Dude,
but it
yeah,
doesn't get
like the
referenced,
best-
though.
Yeah, it does all the time.
No.
Dude, I put
What circles are you in, dude?
young
Shrek
ones. Were
circles,
cool.
come on.
Sorry, old man. Shrek
Alright,
1 is
for-
hilarious. Come on.
For Puffcast listeners, do you like horror games? 40% hate them, 40% prefer to watch someone else play them, and 20% love them.
I was one of those who loved them. Oh, you know what? Twitch with Jay might have it. Superman 2 to Superman 3 and 4. That's a bad drop off. So, you know, classic Batman movies from Batman 89 and
God.
Returns.
Yeah, I watched
To,
Batman Forever.
Forever?
Recently. It's
Yeah.
awful. It's so bad.
yeah,
It's the one Jim Carrey wished he'd never done. Actually, no, it's the one Tommy Lee Jones wished he'd never done.
he fucking hates Jim Carrey, right? Because he
Yeah.
finds him a complete goofball. He hates
He
him.
literally
Like,
has to
man.
hold his hand that entire film as well.
Have you seen Tommy Lee's interviews? He's like the most no nonsense.
He's like Harrison Ford, but you know what? Harrison Ford is more grumpy. Like Tommy Lee Jones just seems like someone's dad.
Have you seen the Tommy Lee Jones Japanese advert? I forget what it's for. He's in an
Well, no.
advert for. He's like shooting laser beams out of his fingers or something. Like, go look it up. Tommy Lee Jones in some Japanese like chewing gum.
Is that where that Bill Murray Lost in Translation movie got the inspiration from? Where he's
Very
like
possibly.
an American actor doing
Yeah.
Japanese adverts?
Yeah, Chipon says Highlander. Highlander 2 is that's pretty trash. That's pretty bad.
Batman Forever, the worst movie I've ever seen 30 times, says Overtired. I think you are living a very interesting life, my friend.
Yeah.
Batman Forever, the one with Alicia Silverstone? I forget.
No, that's
No, it's the one with Nicole Kidman.
Alicia
yeah, Batman and
Silverstone's
Robin. Is one
Batman
of-
and Robin. She plays Batgirl.
Yeah. Is she... Man. Oh, boy. The worst transition is from Search for Spock to Voyage Home? Are you nuts?
Voyage Home is amazing. That is
Voyage
so
Home's
good.
great!
Like one of the best. Search for Spock's good as well.
Yeah, no, that's the 2, 3, 4 is such a good, strong trilogy.
Star Trek 09 to Into Darkness is a good answer, Cairo. That's a good one.
Trek
So
for
I
Life.
was-
Why don't you like Voyage Home?
I was
Well,
reading
who
a
are
book-
you?
I was reading a book recently. Shatner wrote it about Leonard Nimoy, and he's talking about his directorial chops, and he gives pretty fulsome praise, for the stuff
Yeah.
Nimoy did. But then it was his turn to do
Final Frontier.
Final Frontier, and he blamed everything under the sun except for himself. And he's like, "Well, it wasn't my fault," So that was funny.
And it's like, here's the thing, Shatner, is that I'll give him props that there are some real inklings of good stuff in there. And yes, the CG movie did screw him over, and that's why the effects look like garbage. But he also wanted to have it that McCoy and Spock turned on Kirk, and it's like, I can't think of a grosser misunderstanding of what made your series popular than, Spock and McCoy would totally turn on Jim Kirk. It's like, what? Are you fucking... Shatner, what?
It's Shatner's persecution complex, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know what? It's a very consistent psychological profile. So Trekkie for Life doesn't like Voyage Home because of how off-feeling it felt. It didn't feel like real Trek for me. I mean, it's all about making the future and better by helping the past be better. It's all about enrichment of humanity and...
How many classic TOS episodes did they go back to the past, or a simulation of some Earth-like planet that was of Earth's past, and they went to solve a moral quandary or save the future in some quantity? It's a classic Trek trope, it is, and it's done very well, and it's
He
very
even gets
funny.
the girl.
He even gets the girl.
Yeah, it's very classic TOS.
It's funny, and it's just fun. If you've got to turn a good film to watch, all the way through, regardless of the context, regardless of being Star Trek, my
Double dumbass on you!
exactly.
The soundtrack, you know.
My mother-in-law has watched The Voyage Home. That's the only Star Trek film she's watched, and she said she enjoyed it. It doesn't have to be a good Star Trek film, and it's a good film overall. Yeah.
Overtired 2 says Kirk has a line in Final Frontier about how you can't take away people's pain by waging them at one. That speech he gives about him needing his pain is fucking incredible. It's such a good speech. Voyage Home yes, on the surface level, it doesn't seem very Trek because it seems like 80s fish out of water comedy. But the actual underlying plot of it is about reconnection and environmentalism and finding your humanity through Spock's like plotline, which is incredibly important. So I don't. This is that thing where it's like what people's definition of what feels like Star Trek is incredibly mutable and subjective. Like. Kyra says that the problem they have with Car Out of Khan is that it's a great movie, but it doesn't feel like Star Trek to them. That's a weird take to me, but it's incredibly subjective. What Star Trek means is very different to all kinds of people.
It's also a valid take, because
I guess
I'm starting the counter jerk here, because people have gotten sick of people. Oh, that's not real Star Trek. It's like, of course, it has Star Trek in the name. We understand that. But
yeah.
People are allowed to say it doesn't feel like it's not real to them. That's fine. Like, let them say that. As long, like, it's in the course of a conversation. No one's busting in, shouting it from the rooftops. They're just giving their opinion. So that's fine if someone says that it doesn't feel like real Trek to them. But yeah, you're right. It is. It's just a funnier version. So okay, mild spoiler for I think it's episode 5 of Strange New Worlds, Spock Amok. I'll give you the wave when I'm done spoiling. That is basically it's similar to Voyage Home, where it's actually got some cool concepts in the storyline, the way Pike kind of handles the new aliens, but they wrap it up in a comedy. So to me, that felt like the biggest departure from this is not Strange New Worlds, this is not Star Trek, but at the same time, it very much was, because a lot of the core concepts are in place. So.
I think this is something that happens with a franchise like Star Trek, where you have so much genre shift. Like, it's not like Star Wars, where the tone is generally like you're getting space opera no matter what, right? With Star Wars, like it never really deviates from that. You might get variations on it, like how Rogue One is more like a war movie, but it's still essentially a part of a space opera. Whereas Star Trek could be whatever it wants. It can be a fish out of water comedy. It can be horror. It can be a Western. It can be a Western.
And a lot of androids.
Yeah, exactly.
Howdy, partner.
It can be high concept. It can be low concept. It can be about fighting Nazis. It can be about fighting Greek gods. It can be about whatever you damn well please. Whatever script turned up. Yeah, exactly. It can be about the NX-01 fighting like the Luftwaffe for whatever goddamn reason. Why? But whatever.
Look, if every new episode isn't a rehash of And the Children Shall Lead by TOS, then it's not real Star Trek, because that was the blueprint. And if you don't follow that, then you're not real Star Trek.
If it's not got Shatner's daughter in it, I'm not watching.
And the Gorgon.
Yeah.
Oh, so what we did when Stars was over, we were intentionally watching Bad Star Trek. He's doing the jerk off. If you know, you know. So we're intentionally watching.
That sounds so fucking suspect. He's doing the jerk off. If you know, you know.
So we intentionally watch Bad Star Trek, and then we pull up Memory Alpha to read like the trivia stuff to see, what kind of stuff we can spot in the episode. And they said that so the guy they cast for the Gorgon was so incredibly awful. Like, they had a big role for him initially, and they had to cut back a lot of the stuff and focus more.
He was
on
a lawyer or something, right? Some kind of big hotshot lawyer that was popular at the time. I don't know how lawyers get popular. That's weird to me.
Well, Better Call Saul. So.
Yeah, but
he should not have been in front of a camera, but it was.
How awful was he? Like, what kind of crimes are we talking about?
Oh,
go
was
watch the
dialed
episode.
Out. He was dialed out. If you want some fucking skirmish material where literally want to look back at your screen and stay focused, then guess what? It's
been a while since I watched that one. I think I finished.
I'm shocked you don't remember it.
Like, he was just supposed to be like an alien there, but his acting and I don't remember that. Reciting the lines was so bad, they added like heavy audio distortion and like messed with the.
I remember
his image on the screen.
Season 3 budget on making him less awful.
All I remember, I think that was one of because I was doing my TOS rewatch and probably was skirmishing at the time. Like, I remember watching that and like kind of going, oh, this episode's awful, and then kind of zoning out. So maybe I've tuned out of that part. As soon as the
Yeah, I
children
think
all
you just
walking
had a
behind me going,
disassociative episode.
like that. I was just like,
Yeah, it's literally it was so bad that after me and you talked about it, Auto, like my friend Katie had to watch it, and she was just in hysterics and in disbelief that got aired. And it's like, that wasn't even the worst episode of TOS. Not even the worst.
it's up there. It's up there.
Turnabout Intruder is real bad.
That's
man.
pretty bad. Yeah, that's.
Women are so hysterical. We need to strap them down and inject them with drugs. Hey, now that's real Star Trek, folks. If Lower Decks isn't based on those classics, then it doesn't. It's not real Star Trek. At least in the Children Shall Lead, there was a cool thread there about traumatic experiences and how children have to deal with them and that sort of thing. And it was handled obviously fucking awfully, but that's not something. Like, because TNG tried to do it, I think, in season 1, where
the boat breaks.
Wesley,
Yeah,
Wesley gets
that's
pulled
a
into
bad
the
episode.
cloaked planet with all the kids. So it's
That's
hard
not
to handle, I guess.
the worst. It's like
it's bad, but it's
like a
not
4 out of
bad.
10. It's
Yeah.
boring. It's like in that Meridian territory where I could like fucking talk about it, but it's like I don't want to.
Where the
it's
child
boring.
slaps the flower on the back of Picard's uniform and like get the really sort of chirpy music playing.
It's
It's
so
like, "Oh, those
TOSy,
kids."
yeah. Mm.
So we need like a folder for like phased planet episodes, and how esoteric can we get the different categories here?
Yeah, why is that a thing? Why do phased planet episodes suck? What the fuck?
That's Lower Decks' job. Make a phased planet episode that doesn't suck. Because that's the hook. They come up with the idea. What if this planet could disappear? And then they kind of go, yeah, and what's the rest of this episode? Dunno. That's all I wrote on the piece of paper. Episode's airing tomorrow.
That's true. I think it's wink of an eye, but they're not necessarily phased. They're just in time dilation.
Yeah, that's a different thing. It's like phased planet implies like the planet becomes inaccessible, which that's not what happens.
That
with the
time
Wink of an
dilation
Eye
Voyager one was pretty cool, actually. I remember enjoying that one.
It's very
That's
good.
a really
Yeah.
classic sci-fi episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, Robert
Yeah.
Picardo. If it's a Bob Picardo episode, it's good. That's the rules.
He almost made Fairhaven good. Nah, I'm kidding. That's fine. That episode's fine.
Fairhaven's good.
Spirit
Spirit
Folk.
Folk is like,
Spirit Folk is the one. Yeah.
Without saying Threshold, what's one of the worst Voyager episodes? Because in my head, and again, I need to do a rewatch. Like they all kind of like they have their peaks, but they all sort of set on a like they're all sort of surface water. Even the worst episodes are okay.
Twisted.
Was that the one where nothing happens and they get lost in the ship? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
and
you say
it's like,
bad, though?
that door leads to some. Yes, nothing happens and it's boring. Like,
Okay,
I'm pretty
so
sure Robert Picardo and Robert Duncan McNeil went on Twitter and said, "Good, we fucking hated filming that. It was so boring."
Twisted is like a 5, but then Janeway babbling incoherently brings it down to like a 2, I think.
It's not bleak up. It's like,
Yeah.
It's almost bad as the worst Salad DS9 episode. That's a pretty bad one.
No, that's hilarious. Like, just Avery Brooks turning to the camera really dramatically. Bread. It's like fucking hilarious. It's so dramatic because you get like that, like classic 90s Sonic wallpaper music going on. Like, Odo is like, what? And then, like, he just turns to Avery Brooks and he's like, bread. And it cracks me up every fucking time.
There's a brilliant YouTube video you should watch after you've watched this. Of just type in Avery Brooks or Captain Sisko acting completely normal for 3 minutes, and it's just I was cracking up for hours because he just has the range of expressions.
I linked to that in the big book because that's like.
Oh yes, I think that's where I saw it. Yes.
Yeah, Hippocrates Noah, which is like peak Brooks in DS9.
Yeah,
So
he's so good in that. What a treasure! How is he? I don't understand why he's been blacklisted. He's so good.
I think it's all a little bit by choice as well. I think he sort of decided like I've had enough of this as well. Like,
he is
he
jazz,
was blacklisted,
it's true.
or maybe like there was a lot of persecution. But now in modern era, I mean, a lot of people will say, "Yeah, we want you back," and he's like, "Nah, I'm done." Like,
He's like, I have become sentient jazz.
yes, he is a.
All right, so other really garbage Voyager episodes. There's a good few.
That's what I mean.
That's the problem with Bad Voyager. It's very melange. Yeah.
There's some really excellent ones. Like we can always say the really excellent Voyager episode, like Tika Tenor, Doctor Spy, like stuff like that. But
Illusion is pretty bad. Like corny puberty kiss. That's pretty bad.
Which eats the bugs. I don't know. That's alright. That's kind of funny. Like that's.
Yeah. No, sad episodes don't count as garbage. By that definition, the Inner Light would be garbage.
It's not.
Inner Light's pretty terrible, though.
We said the word. I have to get the clue right now.
Yeah, you know you do have to play that. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Right. Let's hear it.
Oh god. That's all you get.
Not bad.
Club remix, yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Mr. Burgundy will play Yaz flute for us tonight.
That episode where Paris is accused of murder and
oh god, yes, the complete remake
the solution is the dog.
Isn't that just a complete remake of the same one Riker did in?
Yeah, and I hate that episode too because that implies that Riker raped someone. It's like that's bad, man.
Played by Hector Salamanca. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same episode. And didn't Odo have an episode like that as well? He gets accused of a crime of murdering someone.
That's not the second episode of DS9. That's also pretty bad. There's a theme occurring here.
Here's an episode that I never hear anyone discuss, and I kind of like it. And I think it's probably season 1. Alfarian hair pasta, where Neelix and Paris are fighting over Kes, and then they have to go on the away mission together, and they have to bond a little bit. And it's like, it's not great, but I kind of like it. It's a little bit charming in its way. You have them being dressed down by Janeway with that pasta all over their shirts. You have them like feeding the baby dinosaur with an eyedropper and stuff. Yeah.
I just think that one was
alright. It's fine.
I just didn't like the whole the Tom and Neelix fighting thing. I always thought it was a bit immature. Even when I was an immature
they were both
teenager
immature, so
yeah, I just felt it a bit like
it gets a bit more of a pass because one of them has been drummed out of Starfleet and the other one isn't Starfleet at all. So it gets a bit more of an excuse for that.
Yeah, Voyager had a lot of episodes.
Someone as a part of like a moral lesson. That was quite cool.
It's the Lower Decks one.
Is that the one? He's like turns around.
Where Tuvok has to whip the cadets.
Learning curve.
Learning curve. Thank you.
Yeah, that's alright. That's not like that.
That was a good episode.
Cold Fire, the one where they run into like
Suspiria. That one's awful.
Yeah, I don't like it at all, really.
Well, when Kes comes back, was that okay? I can't remember.
Fury, no, that's not that good.
Yeah.
Tattoo, like the one with like Chakotay having to strip. I know you were real excited by that, Auto, but the fact that it's all like butt kiss because they got a fake advisor makes that kind of retroactively awful.
I'm gonna have to look at some episodes. I need to rewatch Voyager. Like that is absolutely my weak spot. Like everything else I've watched like loads of times, but
there are a lot of
some really good stuff in there.
Episodes that are just there, and you like forget about them until someone brings them up,
or they get a timelines variant, like the whole Polaric Janeway. I was like, "Where's it? Oh, right, literally like episode 4. Right, I've completely forgotten that."
There's that one, Displaced. That's another one that is literally like that, where it's like they keep on getting swapped with the people who are like, we don't know what's going on, and then they end up as like, we're trapped on the space station, or whatever. And it's like, it's just kind of there. It's not offensive, but it's just like no one ever talks about it because it's just kind of boring. But then it's right next to Worst Case Scenario, which is like one of the best episodes of Voyager. It's so weird. Like the variance in quality is just so much. It's so weird.
Craig says he never liked the 2-parter Workforce. I can kind of see that, but I am a sucker for the trope, that and Year of Hell, where the crew splits up and you have half of them like undermanning the ship trying to save the day. I do kind of like that dynamic. I think I agree with Cranky. Like I never liked where they had a whole series where the characters completely swap personalities, and there was someone completely different. You had to learn about this new personality. I never really got into that because it was a bit like I don't want to see.
I thought Workforce was okay about that because you can see the through line of their personalities and how they are not completely new characters. They're just altered somewhat, and I feel like that's fine. Ask Robert Beltran what he thought of any Voyager episodes. Yeah, he's probably got some very fucking strong opinions. I bet you if you ask Robert if you ask, I'm really glad about that actually. If you ask Robert Beltran about Timeless, I bet you fucking talk your ear off about it though.
Yeah, that was a great episode. So that what was that supposed to be the 100th episode of Voyager. Or, no, it was on the 25th anniversary of Star Trek as well, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to celebrate it,
That was a
honestly.
really
Fucking
good,
Timeless is so good.
Yeah. That was a great episode to do. The whole sequence,
what
everyone lost their
else?
mind. I remember like being on like early BBSs in those days, and everyone losing their mind when Voyager crashed into the ice. Like that was a fantastic moment.
Yeah, that's a classic. And then Geordie turns up and he's cool.
Yeah.
Geordie's always cool.
Geordie is always cool, apart from when he's being a creep to Leia Brahms. No, you know what? What I think might actually be the worst Voyager episode, apart from like minor kitsch value, Ensign Kim and the psychic sex vampires.
Teresia.
Teresians, yeah. That's fucking bad, man. That's a real bad one. Oof.
That kind of tasted like a Gene. It tasted like a Gene Roddenberry episode, I think.
Oh god, it kind of
Do you think
is.
it was a phase
yeah.
1 script? It was got to be a phase 2 script. Sorry, a phase 2 script.
No, they'd run out of them by that point. They were on that many
Oh, I
phase
think it
ones.
was
Phase
still-
two.
They saved it for just the right moment.
We're remaking TNG. Hang on, I've got a box for this.
Sacred Ground. That one's another one that kind of blends in. It's where like Janeway has to go in with spiritualism to save Cass's life, and it's like it's not really. There's not a lot going on.
That felt like a DS9 episode. Like that could have happened on Bajora.
Yeah,
you know?
that would have
Bajor.
landed a lot better if it had been about like Kira or Cisco having to embrace the spiritualism that like they otherwise don't really go into all that much. I feel like it would have landed a lot better. But for Janeway, it just kind of doesn't land, and it never really comes back.
Oh, the 37s was kind of pointless. It was okay.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
It peaks when they encounter a red 30.
Yeah, you mean the first 30 seconds of the fucking movie? Yeah.
And Tom Paris gets
and then
excited.
it backfires in the cargo bay. Of course it does.
Shia Porn, what? How? The worst is the one where they land on the planet of Greek mass drama. I love that episode, Muse.
I hate that one.
I like it a lot. It's a really fun Torres episode. I like it. I'm a sucker for episodes that are about writing TV. I find that hilarious. It's like, but what about making a good story? But it's what happened. No, what about the good story though? Like, does it not? And having the whole thing with like
it needs
the
a
7
dog.
analog. With the 7 analog betraying Janeway and like the drama of it, like I don't know, I like that a lot. Tackleberry? What the fuck's a Tackleberry? Cranky, you're gonna get banned. Can you believe what you just said?
Ooh, yeah, no, I just read that.
For Puffcast listeners, Cranky thinks Virtuoso, where Doc sings in Tales, is
Doc
a
episodes
boring
are
episode.
flawless. Like there are so many good Doc episodes. I remember one of the things I used to do in university is I used to have, a load of Voyager episodes and DS9 episodes and TNG episodes, just to put them on shuffle and go to sleep. And a lot of my stories are falling asleep to Star Trek, so I remember something.
Trekkie for Life also took a pot shot at Resolutions, or do I think that's a bannable offence for you?
Resolutions.
Oh,
the Homesteader episode, yes.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a good episode. I'm not generally saying that's okay.
It's probably Chakotay's best episode, to be honest.
Because he gets to be a simmering pot of sexual charisma.
Actually, he really is a basic male image in that one. Like he has to protect Janeway, and he runs out in the storms to save her, and then he builds her fucking boat and a tub, and it's like, all right, that's pretty basic male image.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? Part of the reason I like the Muse, is it Muse or the Muse? Because there's the DS9 episode that's very similar, which is awful. That
that's
fucking
the one
thing's
with
awful.
Jake Sisko getting like a psychic.
And the
psychic
vampire,
vampire, yeah.
The cougar,
That
yeah.
awful.
If I'd have been for
I
every
hate
time
that.
some young person on the ship got assaulted by sexual vampires, it would be a lot better.
Weird, I hadn't looked twice. The thing I like about Muse is I always appreciate an episode where you have a character who is defined by like one personality trait or their culture, and then there's the occasional episode where they get the feature and then it has fuck all to do with that personality trait or episode. Like Parallels for Worf. That could have been about any other character, but they chose Worf, and it's stronger for having Worf because it's not about Klingonness, not about honor. It's all about Worf and the various different variations and his relationship with Troy, and it's fun like that. Muse is similar to that because it's a Torres episode that has nothing to do with Klingon culture, has nothing to do with engineering, has nothing to do with any of her normal tropes, and it's just her having to go through this situation. And it's just nice to see her outside of the pigeonholed, this is your character type, insert thing episode. I appreciate when those happen. Kind of like how Timeless for Chakotay. It's like, yeah, it's about him being like a devoted member of the Voyager crew, but it's not about him being Native American. It's not about him being Marquis. It's about him just as a character and going for it. It's like, I appreciate when they do that. They shouldn't do it all the time. You need to build up a strong character base, but I appreciate when they come along.
Yeah, the one of those Klingon episodes where she gets like a piece of the hull and blood weeps out of it. That's like akin to Chakotay and the Native American stuff, where it's so like over the top, stereotypical.
I mean, not wrong. But to be fair, Barge of the Dead is actually a very good episode, although it doesn't feel like Voyager.
Torres episodes are great. I love a lot of the Torres episodes where she's dealing with her internal trauma, like, in the season 4 stuff. Before, the one where she hooks up with Tom and they end up in the EV suits together.
A Day of Honor. I like that episode a lot. Yeah,
they're so good. And like when she's trying to kill herself all the time, like, and just won't admit it. Like
Extreme Risk.
Yeah,
that's got a really good Chakotay scene in it as well. He actually gets to be a really good friend to her, and I love that.
Yeah, there was a lot of love for like traumatic B'Elanna Torres scenes, like you wouldn't expect. It's quite deep. Like Voyager, when it gets deep into something, it's really there. Like it's good. But yeah.
Well, when I think of like Voyager going hard, I think of Latent Image. Latent Image just destroys me. Like,
was that Doctor one?
It's the one where he has to him and that ensign Arnie Jatal, I think her name is, and they both get shot on her and Kim get shot on a shuttle mission. And he has to choose between them because he has enough time to do one procedure for 2 patients, and he has to choose. And then because the Doctor has evolved as a personality to the point where he likes Harry more, he chooses his friend, and it causes this cascade loop in his programming because he has the personality engrams of a person, but the moral programming of a EMH who's not meant to prioritize in that kind of way. And then it just fucks him up mentally, and I really like.
Wow.
It's a great episode. Yeah. I love it. It's just really
because
deep
Bob
and hard.
Picardo.
Yeah, he's just great. Okay, Bob Picardo is fucking a great actor.
And I do kind of like it. What do you mean in Trek?
In Star Trek, like, because we got 7. Because one of the rumors for Picard season 2 that was Bob Picardo was going to be in it. Like that was.
He was in Orville, so obviously he doesn't mind doing the circuit.
He's good friends with Kate Mulgrew and. I don't know, John Delancey.
I do like at the end of that episode, Latent Image, where they all take turns standing watch with Doc. And it's a good friendship thing. But you can tell Janeway is so, like, bored with it. She's like, she starts back up again, and she's like, oh my god, I'm going to be relieved now by Tuvok, and you can talk to him about it. Okay, here's something, because you brought up, Torres has a lot of trauma episodes, and it's fine. It fits her character. But what they should have done is a Voyager prequel. Show us how Chakotay and B'Elanna met in the Maquis. What drove them to that? Don't have any scenes on Voyager. Do sort of a self-contained, not a bottle episode because it's not on the ship, but like a self-contained episode of maybe just those 2 characters. Maybe throw in Tuvok if you want to have like how he infiltrated them.
Yeah, because. Torres doesn't really have a defined reason to have joined the Marquis, right? She's wanted to fight,
just angry.
Kind of. Yeah, basically.
Well, did you know she was actually at the Academy at the same time as Wesley was?
That's weird to think about. That's weird.
Yeah, so sorry,
Can't do that to me.
She was at the Academy at the same time Wesley was, so maybe she met him, was his classmate, got so pissed off and thought, oh no, I can't be having this, and then joined the Marquis.
I can't believe Wesley made a pass at Torres, and that pissed her off, and now she fucked off to the Badlands.
Dude, you could probably retcon all of Trek to be Wesley's fault if you wanted, because like once he becomes the Traveler, he could influence anything,
Trekkie for Life, you're thinking of the Swarm, where like all those little ships attach themselves to Voyager, and he has the memory overflow, and he's starting to lose his memories, and they have to reboot him, but then he's fine.
Episode, though, isn't it? That's similar to the big what's it? The way they have to basically perform a C-section on on a giant amoeba.
Galaxy's Child, kind of,
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
one because
that
they
was
get
a lot
really
more.
attracted. It
yeah.
gets attracted to the ship, doesn't it? And they can't use the same thing in the Swarm, although it's less sort of submarine.
Well, no, I think it's its mother. That's what it
yeah,
was.
that's right.
Because he had the whole thing about souring the milk. Yeah.
All right, I'm not done talking about Wesley. You guys remember the episode Death Wish, of course, with Quinn, where they
I like
show
that
all
so
the
well.
lives he's impacted? I want like a Wesley Crusher. Like they go back and show all the lives that he's impacted as the Traveler. Show him
And
like
made worse.
yeah,
Hey, let
show
me
him
tell
like
you a-
inventing the atomic bomb or whatever. That would be
Let me
so.
tell you a little thing. Let me tell you about the Star Trek novels because they kind of do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
They do a little bit of Wesley
Don't talk about
traveling
the Star
around
Trek
and-
novels.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna. I've sent you a Star Trek book. We're gonna read these because I think at some point I've.
We're gonna have a book club segment when I get around
I sent it to you
to
also, if you
formatting
wanna
that
get in on
correctly.
this. I sent Stars the first book, Ghost Ship, from the TNG series, and it was actually written before. It was written before TNG aired, so it was based on all the show Bibles, but it came out.
How many
afterwards.
Bill Rikers do we get?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll go
About
into
a billion.
It's a ride. It's a ride. It's like you read this and kind of going,
Star Trek books are not canon apart from A Stitch in Time,
which is
which
getting
is
an
the
audio-
Garrick Autobiography.
which
Yes.
is getting an audiobook soon, read by what's his name?
Andy Robinson.
Andy Robinson, thank you. So look forward to that.
I really hope he's in Lower Deck Season 3.
I have
really
not
want
heard
Garrick to
about
be in there.
this. What
Well,
is this
Stitch in
book?
Time. It's basically Garrick's
Oh!
life.
Yeah. Literally, Andrew Robinson, the actor for Garrick, wrote an entire autobiography about what Garrick's life was like before DS9.
Yeah,
It's the entire
it's
thing.
really good.
Who has the authority to canonize that?
Well, okay, it's not
He
really
does. He's the
canon,
writer.
no.
He's the actor.
I mean,
I think I count it as canon.
You
I think
can
it's
class
fine.
it as soft canon that until it's directly contradicted. You can accept it as
I don't know. With a character like Garrick, so much of it is Andrew Robinson's performance. I'm happy to give him. I'm happy to give him the credit for that.
wait. What did I miss in the chat? A billion.
Stitch in Time is absolutely canon, Kyra. I overrule you. We have
You asked
show
how
you
many
that.
Bill Rikers, and I said a billion.
Oh.
God damn it!
Jesus Christ! I'm not
you
ready for
know
bad
what?
jokes right now. It's been hot.
You're stifling my creative genius in
All
this
of Shatner's
environment.
novels, yes, they are all absolutely canon.
No, they aren't.
No exaggeration
Speaking
whatsoever.
of, no one's claimed to return a Shatner reading in a while now.
So, Overtired
Taz,
2.
yes.
TS is actually
Yes,
canon
it
now.
is. It is now.
Between Lower Decks and Discovery, it's absolutely 100% canon.
Yeah. Gene
Absolutely.
Roddenberry doesn't want it to be, but when does he ever want anything to be canon? He doesn't want anything past.
He
season
didn't.
three
He doesn't want
TNG.
anything to be canon. He just
No.
wants like the Enterprise to be all about fucking.
He made TNG at gunpoint, pretty much. Like, we need new
Well,
Star
yeah,
Trek
he was
series. Give
poor
us
at
the
the time, I
rights.
think.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All my other scripts aren't making any money, and this
Yeah.
will get me going, I guess. Yeah, TAS has not always been canon. There have been times where it's been very like I think the Star Trek website was referring to it as not canon, but it is canon now,
Yeah. It's been folded.
including the blow up Enterprise. That's absolutely
Yeah,
canon.
giant Spock.
I mean, it's not like they haven't done dumber stuff in TOS. So
And the fact
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's why it gets passed.
And the fact that Lucifer, the devil himself, is actually a good guy, it still blows my mind. Have you watched that one?
Yeah, that is
The
weird.
Magics of Megas 2? Like, it's a weird episode. They kind of go through like a galactic barrier border, meet the devil, who they actually need to help defeat some
Too
like,
much LDS.
weird,
Thank you.
weird like Catholic people on some weird planet. It's weird. It's strange.
No, like Cairo, and there's like Kurtzman and current writers not giving you a full plus or minus on that. Like, it's literally a case of do you count New Trek as canon? If so, then TAS is absolutely canon because they've made multiple pulls from TAS. Not even just Lower Decks, like hilarious things, you know, like with Kukulkan or the giant Spock or whatever. Like, the backstory of Alice in Wonderland and Amanda is a key point of Discovery Season 1 and going forward. Like, it's absolutely canon.
I think Spock has mentioned a few things about his pet Shalat and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yes. I think that one was the one that everyone pointed at as if the rest of TAS isn't canon, then that episode is. I think
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And that means that all the other dumb bullshit is also canon.
But then all the dumb bullshit in TOS and TNG and all the dumb bullshit
And
we
everything
talk
else.
about,
Yeah.
there is so much crap.
But would you want Star Trek if it wasn't dumb?
No,
If it wasn't
absolutely
occasionally
not.
really
That's why we
stupid.
love Lower Decks, because it embraces that dumb aspect, and revels in it.
Richard J wants an update on Otto's neighbor and his gas-powered broom.
He's stopped, but there's a lady with her dog staring in my window for the last 2 minutes. So I can't imagine there's anything. There's nothing else here that she could be looking at.
Get her in. What does she know about Star Trek?
Only
Probably
what
more than
Kurtzman
us.
says is canon is actually canon. I don't care what any fans think is canon anymore.
Not Kurtzman.
Okay, so if Paramount said that TNG wasn't canon anymore, what would you do?
My God.
Can you imagine
Right.
in this weird scenario? Imagine they said that. Imagine they said that TNG wasn't canon. What would you do? Would you say,
Guys, this-
"Oh well, I guess it ain't canon anymore"?
This is how religious denominations are born. Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're right.
I will create the church. I will create the church of TNG if someone says it's not real.
Wow.
I will worship at the
Okay,
Riker's
Trekkie,
beard.
now you're
okay?
just trolling. You're just trolling for us to react to. You cannot say you never
Yeah.
think fucking TNG is. You wouldn't give a shit
Hey,
about it.
Trekkie, you're not canon.
Yeah. You actually can't. You actually can't call yourself Trekkie for life if you say you haven't done a run through of TNG. That's sacrilege. You need to change your name. Seriously.
Cairo, they can absolutely retroactively exclude things from canon. It's called a retcon. They do that all the
Star
time.
Wars is very infamously doing it. Well, the case in point that the book, they did a continuation of the books when we thought we weren't getting Star Trek at all. They basically said, TNG, DS9, Voyager are continuing on through all these books, and we all kind of went, oh, this is the canon now, and then he went, nope, Picard Season 1 invalidates everything.
Everything. Completely all gone.
Well, yeah. For
All
example, Robert April, instead of making him nothing, they made him interesting.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
big retcon.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah, in the end, canon is whatever makes us for an interesting story. You can use it or you can not use it, ultimately.
yeah. And you
Okay, so Trekkie for life, give me your order. How have you been watching Star Trek? Because I'm fascinated that you haven't got the TNG yet.
That's crazy.
This is an interesting study into the mind of
Yes.
an individual.
Of a young individual, I believe you are quite of the...
What would be the
Younger than
weirdest
stars.
way to watch Star Trek? What would be the weirdest way? I
So
feel like
good.
you'd have to start with Picard.
Oh.
Start with the sequel series to TNG, and then move to Voyager, then move back to TOS,
Watch
and
Kelvin,
then into Lower Decks.
then watch Discovery. Watch the Kelvin films, then watch Discovery.
What's the most confusing, least optimized way
Then
to
watch
watch Star Trek?
Picard.
I'm curious now.
And then watch the original series.
I kind of feel like starting with the animated series would be the easiest way. It's because it's kind of
Yeah.
it's like Sunday morning cartoons before
Yeah.
reading the Bible. It's like there's no way this stuff is that fantastic, and then you see the
Yeah,
live
that's-
action
that's
stuff.
quite
It's
good.
like,
Yeah, I
oh,
like that.
okay.
So, Trekkie, you watched Picard before you watched TNG.
Why? That's crazy.
That's weird.
Watching a randomized order. I've had an
He's
idea
getting
about
younger.
it. Yes. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
start
watch
the
it with a randomizer. That would be
Yeah.
hilarious.
Start with the Admiral Jameson episode, and then go through to the one where Pulaski ages, and then go through to the episode where Kirk ages, and then be thoroughly confused.
No, you have to watch all the episodes that have similar names back to one. So you have to watch.
Alphabetical order. That's the one.
Oh no!
Yes.
that's
Oh, I'm so
bad.
we're so doing that.
10010011.
Is there any episode
Oh,
that starts with
God.
an exclamation mark? I don't think there is, but
Where's the Interrobang episode of Star Trek?
oh man, that's actually quite a good idea. I think we could do Star Trek in alphabetical order. That could be a ride.
The only reason I watched Picard first is because of Elnor.
What?
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, all
Just
right.
trolling us
You
now.
want that?
Get out of it. Shut up, Genos. Get out of it.
You actually, Cairo, you know of people watching Trek in alphabetical order?
What? Oh, is it really? Oh man, I thought it was so original. It was anyone podcasting about it. That's the important thing.
You know what, Rev Damar? Watching it from a timeline perspective would be confusing as fuck because you would start with that one bit from Voyager where they go back to the Big Bang, and then you have to work
really,
forwards.
snipping up episodes and doing it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Oh,
Do it like that.
Wow.
Be weird.
Oh, and then you jump to All Good Things where they're in the primordial soup.
Yep.
Oh my god!
And then you would jump to like the TOS bits in the 60s, but without the context of the rest of the episode.
There's people in the Marvel fandom that have done that with all the Marvel films. There's someone that's done a supercut all in chronological order because there isn't a set order. But yeah, wow, that in Star Trek that would be like
you wouldn't even start with TOS. You'd start with like Carbon Creek. No, you start with Little Green Men. Or City on the Edge of Forever? Like, what's the earliest they've gone back?
Is there not
No, Time Zero! Yeah! No, I don't think they've gone back to Roman. That was just the planet that was like Roman.
So we start with...
Parallel planet development.
That's the best
You can't tell me
Clemens.
that wasn't the best Sam Clemens you've ever heard.
Let's do that.
Yeah, no, Devon just short-circuited my brain. Wow. Scene by scene in chronological order, man.
Wow.
Weird to me.
You know, we've been talking big about doing a episode like rewatch podcast where, you know, we'll watch it ahead of time and then talk about this and that about it. And we haven't even settled on a good way to do it because there's so many fun. You could do it chronologically. You could do it by like air date. There's just so many fun ideas there. So
here's one for you. See if you can pronounce that. Oh, it's back to front. It's Bakkerween. It's Welsh. Anyway,
Bakkerwijn.
It's a beer for podcast listeners.
Muppet Twain. I bet you there is a Muppet of like Mark Twain somewhere on the Muppets lot. I bet you there is.
We need to get Sky on with her puppet. Have you guys seen her Muppet of Shinzon? Have you not seen that?
No.
She got it for the Secret Was it Shy? I think Shy, you did it for her. You did.
I'm just picturing someone holding up a Shinzon puppet and it's like,
Muppet
I hope you
Shinzon.
don't mind the dark. We don't like the light.
I was talking to her at one point saying we need to get it on the episode. Yeah, she's got a puppet Shinzon. It's incredible. I think Shy made it.
Oh, Trekkie for life. One way I'd like to see Trek done is dumbest episode to smartest episode. What is the smartest episode of Star Trek ever made?
Good
like
Lord.
the smartest one.
Are we talking intellectually clever or like storyline clever?
Both.
probably
Or whichever one
Arena.
goes higher. Yeah.
Gosh, that's a tough one. I'd have to.
Like the smart, because yes, I think storyline. If you can get a really smart storyline where it's like gets a lot done in a lot of time, smartest.
I'm gonna say, and spoiler, I won't tell the details, but definitely for smartest done in a televised, like smartest in terms of an episode produced in the way they did it was the series 1 finale of Strange New Worlds. That was very clever, like, but I won't obviously go into any more detailed than that.
I think in terms of like character complexity and like examining what Star Trek is about and what captaincy means, that's pretty up there.
Dude, I really want to discuss with you guys. I want to rewatch it and then discuss it. I know y'all did the review and put on.
We'll do
YouTube.
another one. We'll literally do a recap version 2.0. I keep on pushing people to get it, but someone has a schedule idle.
Because there's so I won't spoil really, but there's like a whole meta commentary to be had that like, what if these series are we're just seeing them from someone's point of view, one of the characters' point of view, and we're not actually the third party objective camera watching this. Like, what if it's like a retelling from someone's
It's
point
all
of view?
colored by someone's judgments and
And all the characters you think you know are just from someone's point of view. Because, you know.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I've just popped a
Okay,
on
but you know what
screen,
that means? That would mean the Enterprise is from like T'Pol's point of view.
I mean, it might be.
Bad
What if
shout,
they're
actually, especially the first?
What if
season.
they're even more human than, like?
Oh no, I can't deal with the idea of a dumber Archer.
Actually, no. I guess
see.
if it's T'Pol's point of view, then that would like exaggerate their traits. What if they're all like very restrained and chaste, and they never took their shirts off in all of Enterprise, but in her mind.
It makes more sense the more you think about it, doesn't
I like
it?
that.
That's
I really
weird.
like that.
Yeah. Who would TNG's be from the point of view? It's got to be Picard, right?
I'm Riker, maybe actually.
It
I wonder if
could
Riker
be
makes more
Troy.
Or Troy.
Troy
Maybe
is sort of
both
like the
them.
observer on the ship.
Yeah. DS9 is absolutely Quark. It's got to be Quark telling the tales of everything that happened to, or Jake maybe.
No,
Jake reporting.
it's the prophets. They're watching it all in non-linear time.
Even better, it's Morn. Morn is the first.
I
see that.
It's the Quark to Garrick conversation about the bubbling, cloying personality of Starfleet.
That is actually the story of DS9 in a nutshell in one conversation. That's what it's about. Good. On Voyager, I feel like it probably would be Janeway.
I don't know, maybe Tuvok.
Or Seven?
Seven comes in too late, though. She wasn't there. I have to be someone that's in there for the whole 7 seasons.
It could be Neelix, because he comes on and observes them from the outside and learns what Starfleet is all about.
It would explain why some of the plots are so dumb, because he doesn't understand what's going on.
Kim's a good shout, actually, Cranky. Like Kim going from the ensign to sort of like, writing or like observing everyone from these ground points up and never getting promoted. Maybe today will be the day.
But TOS is definitely from Kirk's point of view.
Absolutely, it's from his point of view.
There's no debate there. So.
No debate. No debate to be had there.
Interesting thought. Anything else? I don't think you can say that about any other series because they're a lot more of a different.
Well, Discovery is obviously Burnham. It's obviously from that perspective. Strange New World's probably from Pikes, I would say.
It's a mix.
Or maybe
it's
Spock.
A thing, like,
maybe
there's,
Spock.
Like, because there are some episodes that I'm banging. I don't know, maybe. Or Tegas, maybe? Only because she hasn't got enough development. We need her to do something.
Yeah, well, maybe she sees the world like that character in The Boys who has like a lot of cartoon characters in their world.
Oh, the Black.
We don't know. Yeah.
Oh, man, The Boys is so
I'm trying to think of what was the who would be. I'm trying to think of who the point of view of a Lower Decks would be. Would it be Mariner?
Probably Mariner. Or Tendi, maybe. Tendi would be a good one, because she comes on the ship fresh, doesn't she?
Could be Captain Freeman, because she sees all the antics they pull.
Yeah.
It's like it's a parent watching their kid get away with stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a thought, yeah.
Actually, Uhura's a good shout for TOS. If you wanted to come up
with for Strange New World, you mean, yeah.
Or both, really. But yeah, no, Uhura.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk never fails, and he gets the woman every time. It's got to be from his point of view in TOS.
yeah, absolutely is. There's no disputing it.
Which I will say, some of my favorite Shatner acting is The Deadly Years when he plays the old version of himself, because it's difficult. I love watching all the different, Garrett Wong playing an older version of himself, Shatner playing an older, and then now we see Anson Mount doing an old version, and it's easy to go. He is a little bit over the top, but he's also like, I've seen my share of senile older people, and it's like Shatner's actually kind of close on what he might be in the future. So
yeah, because you do really have a spectrum of. You could very easily do an entire episode. No, Deadly Years is a great episode. I have no problems with the Deadly Years. Deadly Years is great. It's a little bit over the top, but that's fine. It's literally part of the course on TOS. Yeah, I'm still trying to think about what the smartest episode is in all Star Trek.
It's got to be
it's tough, man.
I feel like it has to be like a time loop episode because there's so many of them.
Oh, Cause and Effect. Cause and Effect is quite clever. Now you said it. That's a real smart episode.
I almost want to stump up for Magic to make the Sanus Men go mad from Disco, like the time loop, but with mud. I really think that's a smartly that's smartly done.
Actually, Relativity. The first couple times I watched it made my head spin trying to get all the ducks in a row on that one.
Yeah, Relativity is pretty good.
It's sort of an oblique concept, so it's easy to. Although then Janeway just hand waves it and goes, don't try to make sense of it, and it's like,
but I'm
a Trekkie. I want to make sense of it.
Smart for a production and just sort of like political thriller kind of sort of like this is a smart, well put together episode in a pale moonlight. Like, that is a very well-paced, very clever...
That's very intellectual, yeah.
You have the twists and the plots, and one at the end where you go, did you... And also, one where Garrick... Any Garrick episode where they're playing, like, Tal Shiar games. Like, any kind of, like, you blew up your own shop with the Dyer's Cast.
Improbable Cause, yeah. I also really appreciate the actual Enterprise climax, which is what Terra Prime and the other one. I can't remember what the other one's called.
No.
Demons, yeah, Demons. I think it's called. That two-parter is really smart, and I also really love Archer's speech at the end of it. That's a very appropriate, demons and that's and like tackling xenophobia and like in terms of it sets up Spock in like a really smartly done but not overt way. It's very it's a good emotional capstone for the series. Like there's just so much about it that's very smart. The only thing about it that's stupid is the whole Mayweather plot, but you know.
What's the TOS episode with Kirk facing his past with the Farragut with the cloud creature? That was a smart one.
Obsession.
I like
a pretty
that
good
one.
episode.
That was a pretty smart for
That is
TOS.
smart.
That was a pretty tidy, clever episode. I thought.
That is actually
TOS,
quite smartly
downgrading it,
played. Past tense is quite strong. The DS9 two-parter in 2024. Yeah, that's in terms of like social commentary. Well, Far Beyond the Stars also. That's also very high concept.
That's very good. Yes.
Okay, one of the final DS9 episodes where they get into Sloane's mind.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
it
really
starts
Ooh,
to
I do like that
deteriorate around it.
episode actually. Yeah,
And you
what is
don't
it
know
called?
you don't know what's real and what's like a machination of his mind.
Yeah, and like, I love that scene where they go into that room and it's all those secrets written down on bits of paper, and he's trying to kill Bashir by keeping him reading all the secrets. And
Yeah.
O'Brien has to be the normal guy who's like, "Shut the fuck up! We're coming for. Let's go." I love that. It's a really good episode.
How tempted would you be? Like,
I
if
can't
you
even
were in-
know what he knows. Yeah.
if you were in the mind of, say, like a former president, or let's keep it clean here, former president, or like some top level security officer, where you could find out, are aliens real? Like, what's Area 50? Like, if you could learn any top level secret, would you not be so tempted to stay there instead of getting back to safety?
Because it's like, at what point do you stop? Like, how many secrets do you read? When does your curiosity satiate? You know, that is the thought. That's a really good episode. I really like the capstone for the Klingon arc through TNG and DS9. Tacking into the Wind. That's a very cleverly put together one. It's all about the degradation of culture and political, expediency.
I'm a sucker for Klingon political. I like redemption. I like any of the kind of stuff that exposes sort of the Empire and sins of the father and that whole kind of thing. That's they're really kind of exposing new elements to a culture we don't know about. Anything that does that.
Do you ever think about the fact that we know more about Klingon politics than we know about Federation politics?
That's actually true. You're right. We don't know much about what the Federation.
We've seen
like
two Federation presidents in the entirety of the Tapestry's very clever. Yeah, no, Tapestry's quite clever.
Yes,
quite smart.
God, yes, that's a great one.
That's a very spiritually strong and about character.
But I did show that to my sister and her friend once, and when you get to the scene where a older Patrick Stewart is in bed with a 20-year-old, they're like, this is so icky. And I realized, because, for me, it's just Star Trek. I don't think of it that way. But for an outsider to say that, I'm like, oh, yeah, that actually is a little bit. It is,
unless you realize the context that he's actually in his younger body, but they're not going to pay a different actor to play Picard. But yeah, that is, I get it.
Yeah.
Frame of Mind. Yes, I love Frame of Mind.
Hold on. Let's back up a second.
Frame of Mind is amazing. Frame of Mind is actually really good. Sorry.
Overtired ask, what's the best Mayweather plot? I like Fortunate Son, because I'm the youngest of three, and my older brother is a police officer, and he has a very dominant personality. So I like the idea of Mayweather going there, and he knows he's right on some stuff. He has the experience, he's really, but trying to get his brother to listen to him is like an entire chore for him, and I can identify with that one. And they don't make him like a moron in that one. They actually give him, like, he's right
smiling at
in the whole
column.
thing. So, yeah.
So
I do like that one. Plus, I love the pun of Fortunate Son.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other Mayweather plots that are worth noting, really.
I can't
There's
really.
not a lot.
That and it was a season 1, basically, that illustrated he was a boomer on a boomer.
Horizon, I think it was.
Horizon, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't go. Let me look at his memory alpha page. This is how much I don't remember about Mayweather.
Yes, Frame of Mind is another one of those onion layer type stories where how many times will he shatter the glass before he's really out of the loop?
What's Night Terrors? Night Terrors is good. I like that one, where they're all sort of sitting around.
I do really enjoy that, but it's only like that one scene. The rest of it kind of doesn't really.
What about what's the one where Picard, the Bolian, Or was it Bolian? The one where he's trapped
Oh!
in a prison cell with 2 or 3 other people. One of them is a
Chelnoth
Husnock.
and
Yeah,
they
and
have to eat the
Napoleon
little-
Cadet, yeah.
And then there's the
Fruit
drinking
discs.
Picard. That's a clever episode.
Yeah, that is actually quite
Where's
smart.
that one? Alliance.
I
Thank
haven't
you.
seen that one in so long.
It's a good.
That's a really good episode.
Fairly recently, in the last 6 years or so.
And they're stuck in like a tiny room for all of it. So
It's almost a bottle episode. It's great actually. But Night Terrors was good. Yeah. TNG had the plethora of clever ones. Definitely.
the one with the aliens
Yeah.
possessing Mayweather and Reed's corpses is good. Yeah, that's a somewhat novel concept, I think, in Trek.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. What's your favourite and least favourite Ferengi episode? And you're not allowed to say The Last Outpost.
That's my
cheating.
favorite one. That really is my favorite one.
That's why I said you're not allowed to say it. I knew.
The energy
you know what?
whips, man.
For Mayweather, I'm actually going to say Breaking the Ice. That's okay.
Oh, that's
All
cool.
right.
Yeah.
Where he and Reed are on the comet. That's fine. Least favorite Ferengi episode is Prophet and Lace. I hate it.
Is that Lumbar? That's
Lumber.
I need to rewatch that one.
No, you don't.
Little Green Men
really
is
don't.
good. Little Green Men is very good.
Little Green Men is so fucking good, but there's only one correct answer, and it's the Magnificent Ferengi.
I was just about to say, yeah, the Magnificent Ferengi with that.
So good. It's so good.
The one where Lek kills holographic Moogie because they're like, we're not going to save her anyways.
Yeah. And like accidentally shooting Keevan and having to puppet his corpse around. Like that's peak Trek black comedy. Like DS9 got really funny with that shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Starts
not
walking into the wall.
Nog, late season Nog kind of set the bar for.
See, I don't actually count Paper Moon as a Ferengi episode because it's not about being a Ferengi, it's a trauma episode.
True.
It's not about being a
yeah.
Ferengi at
What
all.
comes with this, if it's not got Brunt FCA, it's not a Ferengi episode.
A little bit.
I really like the one with Pell, where she goes undercover as a male.
Yeah, I like that episode a
that's-
lot, actually.
You know, if
First
you
Dominion
like social
notice as well,
commentary episodes, you got to give that one a fair shake, right?
Yeah, no, I really do like that one, actually.
This is
What's
a
the
man's
one
world.
where Zek, he gets his head flipped by the
with
Bajoran prophets?
Yes. I know
Yeah, that's
pretty.
pretty funny. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's I think it's like a B plot.
You get
that
Mr.
kind of- it's
Muhadu
pretty
in the
fun.
background, just kind of going. Like a really sad. Quack.
He's dealing with his trauma by
time
running a
for
vocal
some
business. How much more Ferengi can you get? You're not wrong.
love
False
Snake.
Prophets from Voyager. That's a pretty funny one. With Neelix pretending to be the Grand Nagus or whatever,
Yeah.
the Proxy. Yeah.
It was a Ferengi
Oh,
episode
but what
Enterprise,
about the
wasn't it?
one where Quark thinks he's dead and he dreams of Rom being the Grand Exchequer or whatever? He thinks he sees a Ferengi Afterlife. That's hilarious. So good. What's the one where Quark goes back to his homeworld and he gets given back his Marauder Mo action figures?
That's where he
for the
goes.
end
Where
duel?
Moogie. That's where you first meet Moogie, isn't it? When you first meet his mother.
Yeah. I think that's a really
She's trying
cool
to do
one, actually.
business.
The
It's
first
all
Moogie
illegal.
episode. Yeah, because that's the only one where she's played by the original actress, right?
Wait, there was more than
Cecily
one?
Deb? Yeah, there's two
Yeah.
movies.
Really? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
The first one died.
She passed away pretty young, I believe.
Oh, bugger.
Yeah,
I
Moogie.
honestly did not realise there was two. I mean, I can't tell under the makeup, but I didn't realise there was two Moogies.
First result for Moogie is in fact Ishka, which I appreciate.
Does anyone know how much? I don't know if he even had a writing credit, but how much input Armin Shimmerman would have had on these stories? Because I feel like
Lots.
I
ton.
want like episodes just written by him because he
I would
knows the Ferengi ethos better than anyone.
He put
I
a
want
lot of
some stuff
personality
from
into
his brain.
Quark, because Quark was always kind of an outsider to Ferengi culture a little bit, because he was almost the
He
Wolf
is.
of it. Yeah, exactly. He was the Wolf of it. But
Literally, he and Worf have so much character similarity that, like, if they realized it, they would be horrified because they are both the ultimate of their race. But because they are such exemplars of their race and their ethos, they cannot exist within it because they don't understand the complexities of not being perfect in that race.
unlike Worf, Quark, he rebelled against it several times. Like, he wasn't afraid to buck against the
No,
trends. 'Cause
every time.
Worf would go for the honourable route. He would disagree with the council, but he would go what he thought was the Klingon ethos, whereas Quark would often go against the Ferengi ethos for the better good sometimes, even if it meant
Worf
not
could do
getting profit.
dishonorable things if he felt like it was like the morally correct thing to do, which is what Quark would also do.
That's true, maybe.
Quark was moral more often than Worf was dishonorable.
Yeah.
Oh, I would agree with that, but it's also think of stuff like ethics, where like the honorable thing to do is to kill yourself and not be a burden, whereas he does the morally correct thing of being there for Alexander. Like that's the big example. Oh,
Which,
treachery, faith, and the Great River. That's a fucking great Ferengi episode.
To fold in timelines for a second, I would actually love a card at the end of Ethics where Worf is standing there holding himself up and his son is right there with his hands on his.
I'd love that.
Like
yeah.
a fusion
That's a really
card.
great episode.
That would be. That's a really sweet moment.
That's also a really strong Crusher episode. I really appreciate that diatribe she gives Russell at the very end. It's really strong.
It's maybe my favorite Crusher episode.
Remember Me is also really good. For your reference, Idol, the original Ishka was played by Andrea Martin, and then she was played by Cecily Adams in future appearances because the other actress died young, I believe.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. Oh, no, she declined to return in later episodes due to the uncomfortable prosthetics. Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
I think Cecily Adams is the one that passed young.
Yes, that's what it is. That's why I get them confused.
It's like finding out there are
best
27
and worst...
different, 27 different actresses for Tora Ziyal.
Yeah, well, that one, they were doing it to fuck with us by the end of it.
But the definitive one, as we all know.
Yeah. The Pussycat Doll, whatever. Best and worst Romulan episode. Cannot say Balance of Terror.
The Enterprise two-parter I did not like.
What, the one with the Federation
Valdor.
Formation?
With Valdor,
Yeah.
the enormous
I like that.
jawline.
But the
That
Anon,
wasn't
yeah.
good.
Gagman's a Giga Chad. Come on.
I mean, there were elements of... I didn't like the Romulan part of it. I liked the Andorian Anar part of it.
Yeah.
I really love Face of the Enemy. I think that's a great one.
I actually quite like Face.
I
like it.
I do, because it gives Troy
It's
something
so-
to do. It's actually
But
a good Troy episode.
she's so cringy in it, though.
I don't know. I enjoy it. I like that one.
I actually really enjoyed the her accomplice in the episode. He's actually a pretty decent
Yeah.
Romulan. I quite enjoy him.
Does the next phase count?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We actually get to
Yeah.
see the
Oh,
next
That's
that-
great.
Yeah.
That one's maybe my favorite, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Defector
The
is good.
Defector is strong.
Yeah. Oh, God,
that was the
yes.
more obliquely Romulan episode. That's tragic. That is. That's really good.
Actually, we're going to talk about smart episodes. That is a very smart episode because it gives us a whole look at the Romulan lifestyle, which we've never seen before in Trek, in one character, and told through the eyes of that one character in two different voices, because he's the voice of like the admiral and also the voice of the secretary he's trying to be.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
that
James
is-
Sloyan, so it's
Yeah.
an automatic win.
Absolutely.
I do like the DS9 episode where they're doing the Section 31 mind games. That's pretty fun. That's very and that's some good lines, but it's more of a Section 31 episode, I suppose. What's the one with the Telecramor?
Yeah, the wormhole.
The wormhole.
Early season, yeah.
I appreciate that episode, actually. You don't get to see a lot of Romulans and Voyager, but...
Yeah, and it's Vaughn Armstrong, so...
Oh, yeah, so it is.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. I really like Minefield, like the one where
that's cool.
Archer and Reed get trapped on the hull with the mine. I really like that one, but the Romulans are kind of more of an obstacle. They don't really aren't a focus.
I mean, if we're going to talk just Romulans, Nemesis is good for just Romulans, but...
Shut
I
up.
said about that for the
Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
All right, low spoiler. Cranky says Strange New World season finale. For me, that suffers from the same thing as Picard, where the Romulans are too cartoonishly villain for me. Because I think we see it in a lot of other places that they're actually... There's a lot more to them, and they're kind of a more subtle sort of... race.
Yeah,
Like,
but I
paint
feel
them
like
all
there's
with a
enough
brush.
dimension. You get a spectrum of Romulans in the season finale.
Also, we're not allowed to choose Balance of Terror, so that's banned.
Yeah, sure. Actually, you
Spoilers,
can't say.
spoilers.
Yeah. It's too late. We've already broken opinion. Not to mention they were already posting spoilers on the official Star Trek Twitter, so
We'll keep the line. We'll give it a few months, and then we'll just come out with it all.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ones that are really, really good. I actually kind of really appreciate that Discovery Season 3 episode about Navarre and the Vulcan
cool.
Romulan reunification.
Yeah,
How have we not said reunification?
Because reunification's
Speaking of
okay.
Navarre,
Yeah.
the Orion Enterprise episode is fantastic. Bound.
That's featured in our intro sequence.
It is so good.
It's okay.
I hate that episode so much.
Okay, so what I love about it is it's so obviously TOS. It's so the homage to it is like spot on. So from the I don't know I don't know if it's necessarily cinematography, but the way it's filmed, the way it's acted, you could just see Kirk and Scotty down there on Argelius pounding the little light for their applause as the girls.
I thought you were going to say something other than pounding the light. Pounding something else.
And the children shall lead.
That's just about to say that.
What else?
Yeah, see, Shy Porn appreciates the Green Women's choreography. Thank you.
Yeah,
Of course,
whatever.
that's exactly what you're looking at.
That's high class.
Yeah. Yeah, when we talk
Also,
about
Kelby
episodes,
is such a little twit in that episode, which I
Fucking
like to
hate
laugh
Kelby
at
so
him about.
much.
Yeah.
Enterprise Incident is pretty good.
Yeah,
I like Enterprise Incident.
Yeah, Enterprise Incident's okay. It's all right. It's
Well, you get the other
Romulan
Romulan commander,
is so
which I appreciate.
like, as much as we like Nevesa, she is pretty dumb. Like in that, like she's like,
Oh yeah, but Spock is such
I
a
managed to
stud,
swing
you
Spock,
see.
and he's like, yes, I am now a Romulan defector because I have pointy ears. Like, haha, no, turns out I stole your cloaking device after all. Ha!
Haha.
I like it, though.
Yeah, it's nice.
I particularly like the little bit at the end where, Spock is actually, he doesn't need to do this. He goes out his way to try to convince her, look, it got a little steamy there for a minute. It wasn't all me putting on an act, which he didn't need to do that. So for Spock, that's like a big step.
How have we not mentioned the enemy? The Geordie Bokra team up finale on Galorndon Core.
Galorndon Core,
Yeah.
which is like the coolest planet name ever.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you get the subplot of the dead Romulan that refuses to have Worf's filthy Klingon blood. That's pretty hilarious. That guy earned his death. He wanted it. Romulan spy subplot of Data's Day is pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's a subplot in the end.
They've done a lot with the Romulans. I think what I like about the TNG era is like we're all gagging for like more information on the Romulans, but they gave us little bits here and there and enough to kind of keep their shadowy nature. And I think where Nemesis may have gone wrong was revealing a little bit of it too much, or maybe the more we know, the less they're cool. Is a little bit of it.
But the problem with Nemesis is it doesn't really reveal much of Romulan culture.
No.
That's kind of the biggest problem. It's more about Shinzon, who is the most boring villain because all he is a clone of Picard with no characterization other than rape. Which is sucky.
Can you imagine proposing that to your first minister? There's this girl I really like. I'd like to,
Okay, so Sirs and I had this conversation a while back, but I appreciate TNG's contribution to the Klingon universe.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they had the task of resetting who we knew from TOS and expanding on it. And they did that wonderfully. And like you said, the Romulans and the Klingons, who they are stems from TNG. So, they may not have done the in-your-face, like, painful details of why Romulans are the way they are, but they show enough that you can, like, piece it together and build off it in later series. So I really like the way that they handled those two races, at least, and Cardassians.
I was just going to mention Cardassians as well. Like, I feel like they're kind of not the opposite spectrum, but they're in like another tonal shift away from being Romulans. That they have a little bit more.
They're more fascist, but
Yeah.
they still have that secret policey element.
But
which
they
is
have,
more kind
yeah,
of their
and
thing.
it's a cool dynamic between sort of like they're similar but not quite. And I like how much look we get into Cardassian culture. I really like that. There's a few books that delve into that as well, which is they're good reads.
The Never-Ending Sacrifice, the
That's a
absolute
good one as
classic.
well. Yeah. There is actually a
Okay,
book
so
called
DS9 is the definitive Ferengian Cardassian, let's say. I would give
And
TNG.
Bajoran, yeah.
I would give TNG Romulans and Klingons.
Mm-hmm.
Voyagers had Borg in terms of the larger
Kazon.
Development, yeah.
Yeah. What about the other series? Who do they? Do any of them have
did more with Andorians.
Did they write the book?
Aenar,
Yeah, Enterprise did Andorians.
Vulcan
Absolutely
as well.
covered that.
They did Vulcan quite
Vulcan.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I would say. Trying to think of like where they've been developing the other races.
Just in terms of like big players, because you can throw
Yeah.
Kazon and Voyager,
Oh,
but
yeah,
who
yeah.
cares? So.
Yeah, no one cares about the fucking. Even the Borg don't care about the Kazon, for God's sake.
Dude, that was so. I love that. Whoever wrote that, I want to go give them a high five. They're like the only species unworthy of assimilation.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go out and say it. Lower decks for the Orions and Packlets.
Yeah. Well, Packlets especially. I think
Yeah.
you're right with Orions with 10D.
Well, 10D is a massive
Yeah.
step forward for the Orions.
I think Discovery Season 3 onwards, they did a lot more with Orions.
Yeah.
And
I'd have to give it a
seasons-
partial credit for Discovery as well.
And you have to do it for Klingons as well. They did a little bit more, especially Season 2 of Discovery did more with Klingon culture with sort of like the more expand, but not a lot, to be honest.
Well, they kind of backed off after people didn't react so well to Season 1.
Yeah.
I feel like Discovery kind of touches on quite a bit of a small bit of everything. Like you get a good amount of Vulcan development with Sarek and all that. You get a good amount of Klingon development with L'Rell and all that.
Oh,
you
Strange
don't
Worlds,
get a ton of
Vulcan, definitely. Like Strange New Worlds is doing a lot more, especially Spock. Like 'cause it's doing a lot more of Spock's history.
I feel like Enterprise nailed Vulcan. Not the definitive history of Vulcans, but they did so much to expand them and to flesh out their era of Vulcans.
I tend to agree with you, Cranky, but people are very divisive about Disco Season 1 Klingons. I'm trying to think of what I would really classify. Oh, you know what? Discovery would be Kelpians. That's what it would be.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
yeah.
That is one of the bigger races in there, yeah.
Yeah.
But they kind of introduced them too.
Yeah,
So.
it's cheating. It's
Well, yeah, but it's like, yeah.
Did we see any in, I think it was like mentioned in Strange New Worlds, was it once?
I think you see it on a map. Because they mentioned the end of Discovery Season 2 at in relation to Episode 1 of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, I
All
don't know.
those things go on there.
The Battle of Parvo, maybe, but yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, you get a bit more development on the Aenar of the in Stranger Worlds as well.
Okay, yeah. You just opened that wound in my heart that I shall not explain.
Yeah, I'll happily wound you again and again and again.
Damn it. The Nakul. Well,
I think
Star
Fleet
Trek
Boss
Online,
Battles. Fleet Boss Battles gave that more, exposition than Star Trek actually did.
Not cool. Fucking. Don't talk about not cool.
Let me tell you about the whole storyline of Star Trek Online about the Nakul.
Don't talk to me about this bullshit.
All right, boys. My butt's falling asleep. Do we have any other gripping topics?
We don't. We're just here to chill and relax and enjoy each other's company and our fantastic chats company. You guys have been great. Let's not wait too long to do this again. Well, we got timelines.
Yeah, it's kind of just talk shit, really. I'm not happy about that. Oh, and I have a special announcement for you guys, and you guys are going to hear me for the first time as well. Ooh. I can make the Wednesday show.
Hey! That's going to be 4 of us then, because I think Big's on it as well.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I can make the Wednesday show, so we'll all be on there for a proper original Timelines talk.
Yeah, we're gonna be 4 wide, and we're gonna be catching up on everything we've missed. So this is gonna be good. That's made my day.
There you go.
That made me happy.
Oh God, yeah, Lower Deck Season 3 is in 2 weeks. Christ.
Yes.
That's so close.
We have next. Well, we say we got Thomas Talks on Wednesday. And the week after, we'll have the Star Trek show, where we'll be talking news and everything related and up to date in Arctic. And the week after that, we're going to do Star Trek Legacy, and maybe we won't wait too long before we do Timelines Talks again. So, and we'll have some other streams. We'll do some chill out stuff, and we're going to have a chat about doing some other stuff sometime soon. So.
Oh, actually, I have an idea of something I want to record, but I haven't found. I'm looking for the backing vocals for it, like a clean track I can use to, and I haven't found one yet. So if I do, it's going to be great.
What do you need? I might be able to come up with something. What do you need?
Let me know.
We
can't spoil it. It's too good.
Okay.
But I think the Americans will appreciate it most.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. You gonna be getting your Bruce Springsteen on? Like what?
Kind of. It does involve 80s power ballad singing. So.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, my guitar.
Interesting.
Out.
Interesting.
And the next chill stream needs to have.
I think that signals the end of the show. When that plays, when that triggers, we have to stop. Oh my god. Best Bond solo ever. On that note, we'll see you soon. And oh yeah, also you've not seen this. We have an outro now. Where's the button for it? I have an outro. So we will see you next time. Ta-ra!